Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Good
Game.
Guys.
with your hosts, Dr. Captain.
The chaotic one.
I think you both kind of talked over each other there for a moment.
Go Digger.
I'm Dag. Herb.
Derp.
And I'm the
TKO.
NPC.
Oh my
Fuck!
god.
And
Damn it!
He did it again.
Aaron, back of the bus.
I give up. Those days are over for my people.
No, those days are about to begin for your people.
Oh my god, I give up. You guys know who I am. Screw it.
Last week? Yeah.
Oh, man. And unfortunately not with us is the loud kid, who I guess is actually having car troubles. Which kind of sucks, but oh well. We can manage without him today.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Pretty much.
That's fair. I mean, your car breaks down and you just gotta wait for AAA or, whatever tow service you can get if you don't have a AAA.
Kind of sucks because he definitely had a lot he wanted to say with E3. Maybe we'll get some of that shit like midway through the week or something, because goddamn.
Get here early enough, we're gonna go to Chili's first.
Oh.
Anyway, so now that we are all here, this is definitely going to be our post E3 episode.
Right?
Because goddamn, there's an awful lot to talk about. But before we get into that, you know how we like to do things on the show. We like to get on to how our week has been. So, I think we can at least save most of the panel right now because Dag, myself, and Aaron have all been playing. Finally got access to World of Warships.
Right? Aaron, what's going on?
Say what?
Who are you talking to?
Hold on.
Holy shit.
Wow. That's...
War!
What is it good for?
Getting you
Fuck
oil
games.
and shit. No. Okay, anyways, yeah. Okay. What I was saying is, if you were here in, say within like a half hour or so, we will go to Chili's and get some food first. If you're down.
What are you talking
I don't
about?
even know what the hell he's talking about. Let's go back to warships.
Oh, okay.
Like, I guess we could go ahead and kind of make this our little mini review at this point because, this is probably our first times playing it. Well, maybe not you, Dag, because you've been putting up videos for it.
Mm-hmm.
So my first reaction is, holy shit, I'm enjoying this game despite it being made by Wargaming.
Right? Seems to be the general consensus.
Right. And, I've actually been kind of enjoying the different types of ships, because you got your 4 different classes. You got, like, the carriers, the cruisers, the destroyers, and the battleships. And at first I was kind of starting off with battleships, which I guess you can, if you want to use tank analogy, you could say that's the heavy tank.
Uh-huh.
And they definitely pack quite the punch.
That they do.
I don't know, Dag, was there like I'm trying to remember if we had a moment when we were both playing or if it was separate. Fuck. Damn it! I'm trying to recall exact. Oh right, no. Remember with the destroyer,
With what destroyer?
the one that killed it, the one that killed his friend.
I've seen that a number of times, really.
Well, yeah, but it was with us. No, remember it was the one where we were both playing in like the tier 5, the New York, I think.
Okay.
And what was it? Like I was pretty much in like a battle with a cruiser for a moment while a destroyer was trying to hit me with torpedoes and such like that.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it? You were watching me because I remember you said you were dead at that point, and I managed to get that cruiser and the. Oh no. Yeah. So the cruiser that got taken down, then this other battleship basically came up, and the guy was trying to fire torpedoes at me, and he kept missing, and took out his friend. And then this destroyer, in all his infinite wisdom, decided to try and ram me, which I still got the point for.
Right.
Wow.
Aaron and I have had a number of games where if enemies aren't killing each other with torpedoes, friends are.
Right?
Like we had this one scrub last night that spent the whole game firing torpedoes at his friends.
Which included us.
Well, yeah, I think we were the first targets. He
Oh,
didn't hit us, mind
I-
you, but spending time dodging his shit led to not being in a good lineup.
Yeah, I dodged more friendly torpedoes than enemy torpedoes, which is just sad.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Still kind of surprised
Much
that
it.
friendly fire like that's kind of an issue.
Right?
Because there's a thing called idiots.
Pretty
That's
much.
why it's an issue.
But dude, I've totally been like hooked as hell on this because it's been like a really good naval kind of battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, there just really hasn't been that much of a market for them out there, would you say?
Oh, there's all kinds of Navy games out there. You kidding me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but are they that
there's-
good is the question. Like, you never
Well,
really hear much about them.
The games aren't that great generally, but that doesn't mean that the market doesn't exist. It's just that the market has yet to be satisfied.
Exactly. Oh,
Hmm.
well spoken.
Now, this might be news for you, Jason. I'm not sure if you've ever seen this, but in World of Warships, if you're ever looking at the player layout, like the team composition, if you will,
Uh-huh.
and you see everyone's names there, and they're, blue or red, if you see a guy that's pink, he's a team killer.
Really?
Yeah, they have a way to identify people that go out of the way to murder their friends.
Huh.
Or accidentally murder their friends because they're an idiot destroyer pilot who decides, let's just spam torpedoes in the middle of my formation and hope they hit the enemy.
Right.
It's like, yeah, they're either asshole team killers or they're, oh my god, torpedoes. Idiots.
Right. So, I mean, either way, they don't, they're not really thinking about it. But it is cool that they let you identify these fuckwits.
Thank God, because seriously, that really is kind of a pain. Like,
Well, sure.
I think you guys probably had more encounters with it than I have. Like,
Well, we had one. I mean, we played for, what, like 4, 5 hours last night?
mhm.
Something like that.
I think more than that. We were on it.
Yeah. I mean,
Like, I got my
actual playtime, though, not like just sitting in the port or using the restroom or whatever.
I got my 50 battles in one day.
Well, yeah, you do that.
Or one sitting with, like, you. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I
I
had
guess
like
we
3
did
battles left when me and you stopped playing. I had 3 battles left to get my 50.
that.
Oh, right, because that was when you guys decided to switch over to War Thunder at that point.
Well, right, no, but I'm talking about last night. You've got like 70 something battles after we quit this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like battle.
Lol. So it turns out this guy really likes battleships.
Dude, I love battleships. I want to marry them.
Just weird, to be honest. I kind of figured he would have been like the fast attacker kind of guy.
Really, what do I play in World of Tanks?
A fast attacking.
Heavy tank. What do I play in War Thunder? A heavy tank. What do I like being? The guy on the battlefield with the biggest gun and the most armor.
Right?
Like, really?
Like I'm more of the reckless destroyer type.
I mean, I'm just kind of fishing around at what kind of feels right in warships. I'm still enjoying the hell out of battleships. Probably
Yeah,
keep the
that's fair.
carrier. Or not, well, the carrier too, but I mean like the cruiser as well. Destroyers, I don't know. I just don't seem to do too well on them.
Sure. I mean, most of the games we played this morning, I was in a battleship as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we started off doing that for a reason, and then it just became, I'm really frustrated with carriers, and as a destroyer, when the battleships are fucking turning tail and running, it's like, alright, well, I'm committed, so if I show these guys my ass, they're gonna fuck it.
Right.
So, it's pretty much like, yes, I died. Yes, I took someone with me. Cool. Alright. That's all I need. Just go spectate for 15 minutes.
And I haven't even figured out how to make the freaking carriers drop their or planes fire their torpedoes. I'm like, go, attack this. Oh, fly over it and die? Yes, that's exactly the command I gave.
Fair enough. But yeah, that's pretty much what we've been up to this week.
All three of us collectively.
I have nothing but hate for carriers right now. either using them or going against them.
Dude, I got a mixed feeling on carriers. I kind of hate going up against them, but I kind of like being one.
I like being one when it's not one against two.
You know, that's fair too. Or
Okay.
the other thing I really hate about them is when, wargaming in with their amazing matchmaking system decides to pair it up so that your team doesn't have a carrier, but their team either has one or two carriers.
Right.
Right?
That's bullshit. Like we had a match where we didn't have a carrier, we lost that.
Oh god, didn't we do that the same day? Like, what was the exact words that it was when I was about to join you guys in a game? I immediately asked you, why does the game let the other team not or have a carrier but not us?
Oh, well,
Weren't you just saying the exact same thing?
I had a game where that happened, but we won. It was amazing.
I said it was because Wargaming and their amazing matchmaking system.
No, it's because Wargaming and they're always having to put something in the game that's broken, with the exception of World of Warplanes. In freaking World of Tanks, it was that bullshit artillery, okay? And in this game, it's that bullshit carrier bullshit.
What was the broken bullshit about warplanes?
I didn't play it enough to find
the whole damn game.
There you go.
Well, yeah,
All right, fair enough.
Like, I didn't play it long enough to see if there was anything, like, any BS bullshit in World of Planes. It's kind of hard to do that, but when you have a unit or a vehicle in a MMO that you have to limit the amount that can be played, that should tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we're going to limit Artie to 3 or 4 per side. Oh, because guess what? It's some broken, unfun bullshit. We're going to limit carriers to 2 per side because there's some broken, unfun bullshit.
Oh shit! You can only even have one per squadron too. Remember that, Dag?
What?
Remember we were actually gonna try and pair ourselves up in our carriers, but we couldn't.
Oh yeah. You can only have one carrier per division.
Yeah. Does that not tell you something? Wargaming.
It tells you that coordinated carriers are fucking deadly as shit. That's what it tells you.
Oh my god! It also tells you that hey,
coordinated carriers would be a goddamn nightmare.
They're a little broken.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my only hope is, like I said, I'm gonna wait till I get to tier 9 and tier 10 to see these ships that have like 94 anti-aircraft mounts and see, how well that works. Maybe that'll have you not getting just raped by carriers. Oh crap.
It's also going to depend on how well your ships stay grouped together.
Oh, dude,
like
you
could imagine
tactics.
You could imagine 3 or 4 of those battleships with the 94 anti-aircraft rating,
just
obliterating,
keeping
a grid and just annihilating planes coming in.
Yeah, because I do remember 1944, 1945. It was suicide to go after a group of American ships because the anti-aircraft was just so good. Those Bofors just laying the smackdown.
Right. I mean, I guess it helps that the ships would have like 40 Bofors on them.
Oh, no, not to mention radar-controlled 5-inch guns.
Then again, this is this is Wargaming, so it's like not sure how accurate that AI is gonna be on the anti-air.
Well, I already tell you right now,
that's true.
They're not accurate for crap because the Iowa, it said its range was 20-something kilometers. In reality, it's 20-something miles, like 28 miles.
Yeah,
like Michelle.
I think to kind of just wrap things up here so we can kind of get moving on with what the show's intended, or this show's intended.
Right.
It's fun. It's definitely a good placeholder, but I definitely look forward to War Thunder doing it better.
Of course, right?
Pretty much.
So, by all means, guys, give this a shot. If you're like me who was waiting for battleships, this will fill the void.
World of placeholder ships.
Unlike Fallout New Vegas, which won't hold the void until Fallout 4.
Unfortunately, the Humble Bundle digital ticket is over. So it's, if you've got a friend with a key, then hey, great. Otherwise, I would not suggest putting any money into the game to get early access to it because that's bullshit. But the game should be out sometime in September, I think.
Yeah, I don't imagine it won't be too long before it at least does an open beta.
Right. Speaking of release dates.
Well, we got one other person here who probably has something he wants to say for the week. Dan?
Oh, right.
What? Is the show over?
Got
going
a
on?
glitch. The NPC has a glitch.
No, I fell asleep.
So this is how you guys feel.
Yeah.
So, what part of the show are we on?
We're on the how we've been this week.
Still?
We're waiting on you now, buddy.
I don't know, I'm doing much other than a few rounds of Splatoon and uninstalling a Pokemon game from my DS. I've been busy doing my E3 homework.
Yeah. There's that as well.
I took notes.
Nice.
I'm ready.
I took
Awesome.
mental notes. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get on to the whole thing on why we're here right now. So, E3 happened.
Right.
You know what? We'll save how we feel about it at our final thoughts.
Okay.
But, yeah, you know, some cool stuff happened at least, so it's not all doom and gloom. Speaking of doom, why don't we go ahead and get straight on into the first part. We're going to do this in order as we did last week.
All right.
So let's talk about Bethesda.
Sure. Let's talk about Bethesda. If you guys watched the pre-show that we did last week, you'll remember that I discussed that Bethesda was probably going to talk with us about Doom, which they did. They showed us quite a bit of gameplay. They gave
was
us
that Dune or Doom?
Doom.
Huh.
They gave us a release window in the late spring of 2016. Let's see. Also mentioned that they were going to be discussing possibly Dishonored 2.
Dishonored.
So they did reveal Dishonored 2.
That was just still a trailer, though, so we didn't get any actual in-game footage there.
Yeah, though we did get info that has a new female playable protagonist as well as the old protagonist from the first game.
Well, isn't the female protagonist supposed to be the little girl you were trying to save in the first one?
I wouldn't know. I'd never played Dishonored.
I don't remember her name, unfortunately, and I guess it's something that we could have looked up, but we didn't bother because so much stuff. They didn't give us any release date info, but I'm gonna go out on a branch and guess like holidays of next year.
Yeah. You seriously have no idea how burnt out I was by Wednesday with all this E3 stuff.
Oh, sure.
I was like, I couldn't touch video games for a few minutes there. Like,
Right.
no more.
They also showed us Battle Cry, which I predicted. They again did not give us any release details, but
It wasn't even all that much they showed off for Battlecry 2. It seemed like the same stuff we saw last year.
yeah, I guess so. I mean, they discussed a little bit more of how the game is actually going to play. They did show us quite a bit of gameplay in their preview, but I think that was more of kind of more of a placeholder. They did also speak about the Elder Scrolls Online, Tamriel Unlimited, as part of them dropping their subscription model and all that sort of stuff. They're releasing ESO onto consoles.
We've also got a new Elder Scrolls mobile game.
Oh god, the fucking card game.
Yeah,
Oh,
one
Lord.
sounds like one of the many Hearthstone clones that's coming out.
Mm-hmm. And the last thing of note that they really did was Fallout 4.
Yes!
So Fallout 4 has a tentative release date of November 10th of this year.
Yeah, that was the biggest shocker to me. Like,
I gotta admit, yeah, like I thought we were gonna be waiting a long while before that was even gonna get a release date.
Do you remember E3 of last year? Do you remember seeing like the posters and stuff, or the random like pseudo hidden Vault Boy pictures, posters, that sort of stuff?
A little bit, but not too much to...
They've been teasing the piss out of Fallout for a couple of years. So, I mean, like, we know that they were working on it for a good long time.
Isn't that why they switched off and had Obsidian or someone else doing Fallout 4 since they've been working on this since 3? I mean,
You mean
Fallout 4
New Vegas? Yeah.
New Vegas, since they've been working on Fallout 4 probably since after they finished Fallout 3.
Yeah,
they-
actually, they were working on this since Fallout 3 was finished, and they took a break to make Skyrim, but since then they've been working exclusively on Fallout 4.
Right. And so that's kind of pleasing. We actually got a full release date. We got a demonstration of the character creation process, how the game starts, all of that good stuff.
Which was cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I gotta say, for Bethesda's first E3 conference, they kind of knocked it out of the park.
So,
Yeah, they did.
kind of talking Fallout for a little bit. So there's definitely been like some good theories running around on how the story's going to work out. Do you guys want to play around a little bit and see if we can come up with our own ideas?
Nah,
Huh?
fuck that.
What? Where do you come up with this
Yeah, I don't
stuff
feel like
sometimes?
playing game theory about...
Games.
Yeah, what he's talking about is the opening plot of the story is you begin the game as a father who ends up having to go to one of the vaults.
Or a mother. You can
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, they did confirm.
Which they had to fucking point out in the press conference. I had to laugh a little at that.
Well,
Yeah,
it was actually kind of funny how they showed it off. Like, you know.
Like, you make your own character, so why the heck would they have to? Wow, that's just silly.
Yeah, they make you make a character, a male and a female, that have a child.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, that family gets sent to one of the vaults, a shelter from the nuclear holocaust. And the true game begins when you emerge from this vault 200 years later.
Right.
And people are wondering how the hell that works out.
Well, it's easy. You got Frozen.
Descendants, maybe.
Cryogenics. No,
Yeah.
you're the same guy.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or girl. I
But
mean,
the
like,
other theory that's been kind of running around is that maybe in that particular vault it has to do with androids because the Citadel is supposed to be located in Massachusetts. Or not the Citadel, but you know what I'm talking about, right? The people that were hunting the android and Riven.
Starts with a C. Crap.
Conclave?
Conclave, thank you.
Wow.
My personal theory is it's either cloning or your son somehow looks exactly like you.
Son or daughter.
You mean great grandson? You mean?
Or it could be like one of those freak vaults that are meant to be more of an experiment,
Yeah.
and you end up being cloned.
Well,
Yeah,
well,
I said
Dag,
cloning.
every vault's supposed to be one of the freak vaults, from what I understand, because they're all supposed to be different experiments.
There's a number of vaults that are dedicated solely to the survival of the people, but there's like 10 of those. Every other vault, like out of how many are there? Like
112?
Yeah, 112 as far as we
112?
know.
Yeah, like every other one. Dude, Gary?
Gary.
Gary?
Gary?
Huh?
Gary.
Gary.
They're like Fallout's full of amusing shit like that, but we got a release date that is actually rather near, considering E3 demonstrations and how those historically work.
Yeah. Like,
Dude, I got to tell you, like, my hype for the game, like, was going up so high, and then suddenly I realized, shit, it's coming out in November. Fuck, I need to update my computer fast.
The hype is strong with this one.
The hype is fucking real.
I don't know. Maybe Windows 10 will help you a long way in terms of performance.
I hope so.
Well, we will have to see. DirectX 12 does look like it's going to do some neat stuff, but that's kind of not here nor there. But yeah, I mean, as far as Bethesda's conference, best of E3, 10 out of 10 would bang.
Totally. Oh, fucking
Yeah,
hell.
admittedly, I haven't beaten any of the Fallout games, and that had me excited. Looked like a good game. Like all the features they showed off. Like Jason wanted, they got weapon customization.
Dude, even more than that, they fucking allowed you to customize your own settlement.
Yeah, that's what I was
Like-
getting at. You
Yeah,
build
they
your
went
own
kinda nuts in
settlement.
this game.
What else was kind of interesting about the Bethesda conference is Todd Howard gave us some stuff that we didn't even know we wanted. Like the pre-order of the collector's edition of Fallout 4 is coming with this wearable Pip-Boy's second screen device that you plug your phone into, and they've got an app for it and all that sort of stuff. And I swear to you, we didn't even know we wanted this damn thing, and then it sold out within 4 hours of him announcing it at the conference.
Dude, fuck you. I knew I wanted that thing. I just couldn't get
I've
it.
wanted a Pip-Boy since the first time I played Fallout 3.
I wanted that Pip-Boy they gave out with Fallout 3, actually, with that special edition, even though that wasn't real. That was just more of like a alarm clock, if anything.
Right?
Yeah, how about that mobile game that nobody knew they wanted to play?
Right? I want a phone now.
The other interesting thing that Todd Howard announced was Fallout Shelter, which is a mobile game on the iOS, which he said is free. There's no advertisements. It's it's got elements from XCOM and from what else?
Kind of just like a sim builder.
Yeah, pretty much. Just kind of.
Like, I'm pretty sure they got some microtransaction going on in there as well.
Well, they did. They said that the only microtransactions of the game are treasure chests you can buy that give you random gear.
Right.
So you can buy
Right.
more gear if you want it, but that's it. That's the only thing you can pay for.
And the interesting thing about this is it hit the top 3 in the iOS store, and I believe it is outperforming Candy Crush Saga.
Good.
Which is kind of a big deal because the App Store's top 10 have been stale for a couple of years. But, like, I didn't even know I wanted a mobile game.
I don't.
I gotta admit that too. Like, I'm still preach the death of mobile games. Like, I fucking want it out, but I'll make an exception. This is the one mobile game I want.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
And sadly, it's not coming out on Android for a month or two.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a timed exclusive or if they just had.
No, they said like right after the conference that it was timed exclusive with Apple.
Okay. Well, I must have missed that because I was too busy fapping over Fallout 4.
We don't blame you. Oh man.
You know what I'm talking about.
Damn straight.
I have no idea
So
what you
yeah,
are talking
Fallout,
about.
dude, fucking awesome. But
So, like, alright, show's over. We talked about the important bits.
oh no, we've got the other conferences to go to, and honestly, I kind of want to poke fun for a moment at the fucking idiots that are trying to say Doom was brutal. Fuck you guys, get off the fucking internet. That's all I
But
gotta
it
say.
did look more like brutal Doom than the rest of the Doom games.
Oh well, that's fine.
Haven't you
Dan.
heard all the veterans complaining that it's still not fast enough?
I have heard that complaint, and I'll just hear it, you know? Like, yeah, it's not as fast as the original Dooms or even the original Quake, but what it's got in its place is pacing.
I gotta admit, I was still kind of weirded out that you can double jump in that.
I'm kind of pleased because it looks like it's supposed to make you feel like more of a badass than Doom 3 did. Because Doom 3 was like, I don't have a flashlight, I can't see shit, never heard of duct tape on Mars.
Apparently, right?
Well, Doom 3, I think, was more trying to aim towards the whole survival of the situation rather than trying to make you out to be the badass.
But Doom has always been about, you know,
You're a badass.
you're this one space marine fighting off the forces of hell, and you go so deep as to actually get to hell and kick their asses there.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
but
you still
one
kind of
eye.
get that, though.
You're a bad enough dude that you dive headfirst into Satan's asshole and rip his head off with your bare hands. That's Doom.
You're a bad enough dude to save the president's daughter.
Oh, right? Lasers? Lasers ain't shit.
I did just make that reference. For those of you who caught it, you get a cookie.
Where's my cookie? Because lasers ain't shit, son.
Yeah. My only complaint on Doom so far is the gameplay we were shown. I was looking at it and I'm just thinking to myself, there's no way the final game looks like this.
Probably not. Then again, it's id. They tend not to downgrade anything that they show at E3. It does some amazing engine work, and they tend not to show off things that look different. You know, it's like this is close enough that we can show it, and it's not going to change.
Even still, it looks just above too good. It's just right there that it bridges the gap between bullshot and really fucking good graphics game.
That's what id was all about. Like, id has always pushed the boundaries of graphics on your system.
And awesomeness.
Well, let's see what happens when the game launches.
Sure.
Yeah, like, let's just not get another Rage. Like, I'm still kind of salty over that
Are you
one.
raging over Rage?
I never stop.
You don't like push kick to win the video game?
To be fair, the engine in Rage was a technological marvel. The same game could run on the PC at 60 frames at 1080p. They did a tech demo of the engine doing the same goddamn thing on the iPhone.
Wow.
I mean, it does engine optimization correctly.
Well,
Then again, Rage was sort of the last project that Carmack had any hand in.
Yeah.
Carmack was sort of the wizard of id.
the wizard.
I get it. I understood that reference.
Lol.
Alrighty, so yeah, we've definitely talked to death with Bethesda right now.
Yeah, but that's because it was the best show,
It was.
Yeah.
Like, I think we can safely say this is the winner of E3 right now.
right? Like, did
Yeah.
anyone pay attention to Microsoft?
I did.
What's that?
I said I did my fucking homework.
Okay.
I was
Dan,
asleep
take it
for
away.
that shit, so you take the floor.
Well, of course,
Damn it! I did it.
it's like, of course they knew what they were going for. The first thing they opened up with was Halo 5.
Of course.
Obviously, they showed some gameplay of. They showed gameplay of Locke and his Guardians. Like, it's a squad-based campaign missions. Seemed kind of interesting. He's got a scanner device that lets him track things, help him hunt down Master Chief. A lot of people are saying, like, even the devs are saying it's kind of a spiritual successor to Star Wars Republic Commando. It's
Right.
like the gameplay you got out of that, people are going to see a lot of it here. Say, do we have the release date for that?
I believe
Yeah,
we
October
do, actually.
27th.
Yep.
It's come out in October. They're also releasing a new multiplayer called Warzone. I didn't. They didn't explain a lot of it, but what it looks like is a hybrid of a PvP and PvE gameplay. Like, they showed Spartans versus Spartans, Spartans versus Grunts, Spartans versus Flood. It's basically Spartans versus everybody.
I'm gonna say I got a little hype for Halo 5 because they brought Nathan Fillion back to reprise his role as Buck.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You mean he didn't die?
No, he didn't die.
I don't know. I never finished ODST.
No, he lived, and they even brought his voice back to be one of the different voices you could choose for Halo Reach for whenever you play Firefly.
Okay.
And yeah, there's the way to kill your hype down. According to the chat, it's still made by 343.
Right. Well, Bungie's too busy fucking up Destiny, so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think we saw something from them this year.
I think I think they made more of an announcement during the Sony, so we'll get to them at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that we got a new game announced by Keiji Inafune that all we got was a cinematic teaser. It's a game called Recore, and here's the shocker. It looks nothing like a Mega Man game.
Lol.
How's that shocking?
Keiji Inafune only knows how to make Mega Man. Have you
Yeah,
seen
so
the
he's-
games he's built lately?
So he's branching out. This could either be very good or very bad for his.
Well, the last not Mega Man game he made got canceled and cost the company involved millions of dollars.
Well, okay.
Oops.
Well, that's all right. Microsoft can afford to just
Yeah.
waste a couple $1 million. I mean, their R&D process is kind of staggering.
Yeah.
Like, I love their personal project week that they do at Microsoft. Like, for 1 week every month, they stop working on whatever they're working on and go and do their own fucking thing. I mean, that's kind of how the Surface got developed.
Right.
Just some random bored engineer at Microsoft is like, I want this table to order coffee for me at Starbucks, goddammit. I just want to lay my phone down on it and it'll charge me for whatever the shit I tap on. Someone will bring it to me.
So yeah, the core concept of the game, no pun intended, is you have a mechanical companion that's central AI and everything is inside a main power core that you can take out and put into other machines. I'm assuming the gameplay is going to involve you taking your companion and putting it into different bodies to solve different puzzles.
Huh.
It's like that combined with some shooting. I don't know. Like I said, all we got was a cinematic trailer. We didn't get any gameplay or hints of what the gameplay is going to look like other than girl and her robot dog go out in the desert and hunt for treasure.
Fair enough.
The other that, the big announcement that everyone would have loved for Microsoft to have won this year, that Xbox One is going to be backwards compatible with Xbox 360 games.
So can I say
You know,
something?
I have a bone to pick about that.
Yeah, you take the floor, because I'm pretty sure we share the same thoughts.
So my question is, why in the fuck is Microsoft getting a standing ovation for something that should already be industry standard?
I don't know. I'll ask you the same question when we get to Sony.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, same deal. I mean, like, what the fuck? Like, why?
Yeah, it's a big.
It's hard to come up with words for the amount of disappointment I have in the console plebs.
Yeah, it's a big deal for the casual consumers, though everyone who remembers back 2 years ago was wondering, wait, if they could do this before, why didn't they do it at launch?
I know, and they gave me this whole spiel about the hardware and blah blah blah. It's different. I'm like, oh really?
Well,
I give you a spiel about the PS3 being backward compatible with the PS2. That was a different topic with different hardware.
I'm assuming that Windows 10 is going to allow them something that lets them do the backwards compatibility emulation.
And the way I understand how it worked, I guess for now anyway, until Windows 10 comes out, like, correct me here, people, but if you put in an Xbox 360 game, it then just downloads it from the Microsoft Store.
I don't really know the details.
That's what I heard.
I don't know if it does that. What I know is it's going to be emulation, so it's going to be streaming the game on the Xbox One hardware. There's no hardware in there that will be able to play the games. And I'm assuming they were only able to do this because of Windows 10.
Well,
Not assuming
I mean,
they withheld it.
Sure. Makes you wonder what operating system was on the 360.
I don't know.
Because
If
the
you ask
hardware wasn't grossly different. It was still an AMD processor. They still had I think the 360. No, yeah, I'm pretty sure it had a Radeon in it. I mean, it's basically micro PC architecture.
I'm assuming that the old firmware is based on their Windows Phone OS. Just throwing that out on the limb. That or something incredibly derivative of Windows 8. Otherwise, I don't know what they'd be running on it.
The 360 was out well before Windows 8.
Yeah, speaking of shit they should have done a long time ago, they unveiled a new Xbox One controller that, here's the newsflash, for $150 you can buy a new Xbox One controller that you can customize with detachable trigger paddles, switchable joysticks, and a D-pad that doesn't suck dick.
Well, let me get some graphics on my D-pad for $150. Put it in me. I want it now. Like, really? Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, before E3 we had some news saying that there was going to be a new Xbox One controller with a microphone jack, and then they pull this, it has a microphone jack, plus a bunch of other shit you want for whatever you want to do.
For half of the cost of the console.
Yeah, here's my problem with that. For $150, why am I not allowed to switch the position of the right control stick? Why can I not have that up with the left one? Like, I don't know if it was Sony's fault or what, but I'm just a sucker for parallel analog sticks.
Right? That is entirely Sony's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Xbox
blame
is the
Sony.
only one.
I actually blame Nintendo since Sony seemed to have copied the Super Nintendo controller.
I think the DualShock was their invention.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was theirs.
No, I'm talking about the shape, where the analogs go, and where the.
Yeah. Either way, I'll give that to you though. That Nintendo did help develop the original PlayStation.
That's true.
Moving along, we had Todd Howard come back, talk about Fallout 4, and that mods would be available on Xbox One. So you'd be able to download mods. I'm assuming through their Bethesda net, they're going to have a workshop that you can get mods from.
One of the good things I'm actually kind of excited about, since you're bringing up the whole paid mods thing, like, at least for now, Bethesda's saying that they're got no plans for bringing in paid mods. But at the same time, I'm not going to say it's fully gone, because I get the feeling it could peek its ugly head up again sometime in the future.
Well,
But for
they've mentioned that they have no plans to do paid mods, but the question I've got is, are there any plans to make plans?
That's what I'm thinking too.
It's like, just because they don't currently have plans doesn't mean that some executive who crashed his fucking Ferrari and needs another one won't try it again.
It's okay, somebody will pick up that torch. I'm sure I'm sure there's something more to that. Either way, yeah, EA came out and shilled their EA Access program with
Are we going to
Xbox
EA now?
One. No, it was part of the conference. They're play it first on Xbox One because we're EA. And at the end of which they had a trailer for Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2.
Oh God.
Mall.
I want to save that for when we get to EA.
For the people
conference.
who played it, I hear it's fun for a shooting game. It was just a weird trailer, and I don't know why Danger Zone had to be part of the marketing.
Right? Okay, now I think we're just going to go ahead and start talking about EA at this point.
We've got a hell of... Dude, look at my notes here. Look. We have this much... I did so much notes on Microsoft.
Dan, it's okay. It's Microsoft. Chances are a lot of those things should have been announced in other conferences too.
Do you
like
have any
Tomb Raider.
more specific points?
Let's see. We got an announcement for Forza 6.
Ooh, Jeremy Clarkson's not doing the voiceover, so I'm not interested.
Yeah, the thing that's the funny part is they're promising 60 frames per second at 1080p, so fingers crossed on that.
All right.
They showed off a trailer for The Division, confirming a Xbox One exclusive beta in October.
Oh God.
Right, the rest of us are going to have access in December.
Yeah, another early access beta in September for Rainbow Six Siege.
Mm-hmm.
A Gigantic getting a beta in August. Some indie games. And yeah, that's the other big thing that I noticed is Xbox One is opening itself up to having its own early access program.
Along with an
boy.
indie game shit show.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Here's the kicker that I think they're learning, and it's something that I think all early access programs should look into. Every game in their early access program will have a free demo that you can download and try the game before you buy it.
Okay.
So you
Well,
can try it for free without having to give the devs money and let them run with it.
Sure, but Steam has that too now. Refunds.
Well, yeah, that's a technicality.
Try the
That
game
is
for under
technically,
2
yeah.
hours. If you fucking hate it, get your money back.
Either way, yeah, we got some gameplay for Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I saw some of that, and yes, I can confirm Lara Croft is still immune to physical trauma.
Yeah, she is. I actually kind of had a gripe about the video of that. So she's ice climbing up this mountain.
Oh wait.
Yep.
I heard this before on the show. Someone described this to me. It was one of you guys actually.
It was Dag.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was the
I
same mountain, too.
I was like deja vu.
Yeah. It's still fucking bothering me.
Okay.
I've seen what happens when chunks of ice that large hit people in the head. And frankly, if you're holding on to a claw hammer with one hand and dangling off the side of a cliff, if you get hit in the noggin with a fucking 80-pound hunk of ice, you're fucked.
Wait, you've seen that?
Dude, I watched Deadliest Catch. I've seen guys get crushed by nearly 800 pounds of ice.
Oh. Okay. I think if you're dangling by a claw hammer with one hand and you get hit in the head with something the size of a baseball, you're gonna let go and fall.
Right. But no, instead she just climbs right up. No bruising, no black eyes, no bleeding, no problem. Just, hey, I'm here and I'm hot. Look at me.
Apparently,
This
she's
is-
more badass than Commander Shepard.
This is what we're selling these games for. Like,
Yeah,
Because I
Moving-
remember, I think the Tomb Raider game on PlayStation. I don't know which one it is, but I remember her starting to look all fucked up when she gets hit and stuff. Because they decided to go
sure.
to rewind that.
but this was like a cinematic thing, so you're not allowed to have any sort of like,
Lasting
Yeah.
damage or anything like
any
that.
sort of damage. Then again, we could throw back to Uncharted 2 and say, dude, Nathan Drake fucking climbed up a hanging train with fucking bullets in his gut.
That's
Nathan
true.
Drake, though. That's Nathan Drake, dog.
Well,
That's like saying, Master Chief annihilated an alien fleet, missing his liver.
it's still a guy that got shot like 8 times in the belly and managed to have enough upper body strength to pull him up 2 fucking train cars.
He got hit that many times? I don't think he got hit that many times.
Yeah, I might be exaggerating, but still, even with 1 piece of shrapnel in there, you're gonna be kind of fucked.
It depends on how much adrenaline is going through your body, actually.
He sort of woke up after passing out from blood loss.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
he's done.
Yeah, it's like, but he's not done. This is just the opening sequence of the game.
That's
Things
'cause
get
he's
worse.
Nathan motherfucking Drake, a.k.a. you playing Uncharted, a.k.a. God hates you.
Pretty much.
That game is the epitome of Murphy's Law. Like, it stops surprising me. Like, I'll be playing a game, and I'll be like, you know what would suck? You know what would really suck right now? If this happened. Lo and behold, 2 seconds after I said that, it happened.
Right, fair enough.
You know what really suck? I'm climbing up this train car. You know what really suck if one of these train cars gave... Whoa, my God, there it goes.
Anyway.
Mountain. You know what would really suck if half this mountain decided to fall down? Oh, there it goes.
Anyway.
Guess I'll have to get through the rest of these real quick.
Yeah.
Another big excitement point they had was Rare announcing a collection of 30 of their most famous games available on Xbox One for $30.
Yes, Battletoads is one of them, as GameStop so proudly pointed out.
Yep. Rare also showed off a new some kind of pirate game called Sea of Thieves. Looked interesting enough. We got Fable Legends shown off again, and they mostly closed out with a live demo of HoloLens using Minecraft, and got it. The augmented reality for that is kind of interesting. Still no price point on HoloLens. Still no release date though.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to hear anything about it for a while.
Yeah, then they closed out with announcing a public beta for the remaster of Gears of War, as well as a gameplay teaser for Gears 4. And yep, that's Microsoft conference in a nutshell.
Fair enough.
So let's go ahead and get on over to one of the train wrecks, and we got to figure out at our final thought here which one was a true loser.
Oh,
we already got a winner.
decided that.
You already decided that? All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to think on that as we're going through this because there's a lot to revisit. EA.
Oh boy.
They opened strong.
They did. They started off with the teaser for Mass Effect, a new one, which was kind of cool.
Hey, I know that it is reasonably impossible for N7 to have a presence in the Andromeda Galaxy, considering all the Mass Effect generators getting kind of blown up at the end of Mass Effect 3. Spoiler alert.
No.
But yeah, I'm not sure how they're gonna explain that. Like, in just 200 years after all this technology died, we managed to somehow not only make it further than humanity has ever been inside of this series, we've made it further than any other race, aside from the Reapers, I guess, have ever been. Interesting.
Well, Dag, I have the answer for you.
Dag, hold on a second.
Aaron, I got this. Dag,
You
it's
got this?
humanity. Fuck yeah.
Anyways, Dag, come on. Look at what we've done since 1911 to right now.
Okay.
We've gone from the Wright brothers with a freaking kite with a lawnmower engine on it to sea walking on the moon and planning Mars.
Yeah, that's cool. Now imagine that all of that technology got destroyed and you kind of have to start over.
No, all that technology did not get destroyed.
Yeah, we also did in 100 years what the planet naturally does in 100 million years.
Right.
The Mass Effect relays were destroyed, yes, but their pieces, their plans, all the scans, and all the knowledge of them still exist.
Well, considering we don't have a release window or gameplay available, I'm assuming they haven't fleshed out much of Mass Effect Andromeda yet.
Yeah, I say we give them time to figure that out.
Okay, Dag, pretty much you're just saying, say the sun puts out a massive EMP and fries all technology on this planet. You're telling me that in 200 years, we would not have already recovered, invented new stuff, and possibly have left the solar system by then.
Well, you know what, Aaron? We actually got a game, not in the EA conference, but the Sony conference that covers sort of just that.
Hang on. Not the solar system, Aaron. The galaxy.
Well, I'm talking about our technology now. We haven't even gotten FTL yet. They already have FTL.
Right, but they still had no mention of any sort of presence in any other galaxy. Who's to say any Mass Effect generators are in Andromeda?
Well, true that, and they seem to already have a FTL system that's not dependent on the mass relays anyway.
That's fair. I mean, I guess they had the field generators that were all borrowed alien technology.
Well, like if you notice at the end of the both endings of Mass Effect 3, the Normandy looks like it goes into warp.
Yeah, it does look like it's trying to escape.
Like, no, I mean, like, without the mass relay, it just flies in the atmosphere, and also you just see it take off like warp or hyperspace.
Wasn't it riding the shockwave of one of the mass relays?
No, I'm talking about after it crashed. Once it crashed on the planet, then you see it take. Then they fix the ship. It takes off.
Oh, okay.
Goes into orbit and then goes into warp, like Star Trek.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, rewatch that ending.
We'll see how they explain it.
Because I mean, if they do some type of like wormhole, like do something like there's a wormhole that links the center of the galaxies to other galaxies, that would also make sense too.
Yeah, but at that point, I'm just gonna throw my hands up and say it's fucking Star Trek.
Star Trek never did that.
Nah, but they coulda.
Mass Effect was kind of Star Trek though, with more wars. Let's be honest.
It reminded me more of Star Wars, actually.
Anyway, that's definitely one of the things we're going to get into with the EA conference, because there really wasn't much else to go into, but there's one point of interest I want to get into with the reveal of Unraveled, or is that what it's called again?
There's Unraveled, but yeah, before that there was a new Need for Speed game coming this fall. Still not underground, so nobody cares.
Yeah.
Got a new expansion for Star Wars The Old Republic.
That actually is going to be free, folks.
What?
As they said.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Am I in a parallel universe?
I know, right?
I'm a little bit surprised that the game's still alive.
I kind of am too. Like,
apparently it has a dedicated user base still.
I'm sure it does.
Probably helps that it's free to play.
Supposedly they went on a you can play this for free, but there are so many restrictions involved that people just subscribe anyway.
Oh, I was.
Yeah.
Like, no.
That's how they get you.
Yep. That's how they get you to fucking quit.
Yeah. I actually stopped playing it too.
And yeah, okay, I guess we want to talk about Unravel.
Just because of the fucking presentation, like, okay, Unravel is a platformer game where you play yarn, I guess. That's the best way to put it.
You play a yarn doll slowly unraveling, trying to make his way somewhere. They didn't specify if he was going home, trying to find somebody. He's going on some kind of journey, and
the game does look like it has a nice physics engine to it, which is kind of cool.
It looks interesting for a puzzle platformer, that's for sure.
But so here's the thing, and I just want to look at this moment when the revealing of it, just because, dude, the guy that they had on there was trembling as hell. Like, memes have generated that this guy was one of the people that spilled the most spaghetti. You know, for those that get that. And just, holy shit. You can even, like, go back and watch the video, and when he first reveals the yarn doll, when he's talking about how they actually made it, you can see this guy's hands trembling. This guy's suffering stage fright, and honestly, I felt bad for him. Like, I don't know. What'd you think, Doug?
I honestly didn't watch EA's presentation.
I don't blame you. I did. Because right after that, that's when they did the Garden Warfare thing with fucking Danger Zone playing. They had, in fact, actually, if you guys are looking at our icon or the background right now, just under the Super Mario thing is you see the zombie dressed up in like a superhero outfit. That's the scene right there. And the zombie was just out there trying to generate the fucking hype, and no one was fucking having any of it.
Right.
I was scared. I'm like, oh god, get this off of my screen.
Lol.
It's ridiculous. Like, the gameplay they showed off looked interesting enough.
It seemed like another
You got
tower
you
defense,
get to play
actually.
as the zombies this time. I guess that's interesting, but
Oh, no, wait, yeah, like, no, I'm trying to think of the other tower defense game that has, like, the third-person perspective.
that's Plants vs Zombies.
No. There was another
Yeah,
one that was more popular.
More popular than Plants vs Zombies.
The third-person tower defense game, yeah. The one that you and our friend Yoshi used to play a lot. Tower defense. Is that what it's called?
I don't like tower defense games. I don't know what you're getting at.
Whatever. I
don't think there's a tower defense game that's more popular than Plants vs Zombies. Dude,
Fair enough.
it's incredibly popular. It's like probably one of the most played.
Dungeon Defenders. That's probably the one I'm thinking of.
Okay, that's a game. There's no way it's more popular than Plants vs Zombies, because Dungeon Defenders is PC exclusive, from what I know. PvZ is on every platform. It's huge. It's almost as big as Angry Birds, to be honest.
All right. Yeah, I guess that's fair. But I mean, with Garden Warfare.
Yeah, Garden Warfare is a small niche game. Plants vs Zombies itself was super popular.
Fair enough.
And yeah, after that, it's EA, so they bored our heads off with all their new sports game for this year.
Dude, they padded out the entire thing with a fucking
With Pele?
yeah,
an interview and a
10-minute long story with him talking about like his time in soccer.
Oh, and the beautiful game. Don't forget the beautiful game.
Right.
Like, I had to laugh too because during that entire thing they kept having a pop-up saying that Star Wars Battlefront will be talked about in 35 minutes.
Yeah, they wanted people to stick around while they talk about that and mobile games.
Like, they had to keep reminding people, we'll talk about Star Wars, just sit here, damn it.
Just bear with us and suffer while we advertise bullshit at you that you don't fucking care about.
Yeah, he talked about Star Wars in the middle when they had another Hearthstone clone, this time with Star Wars.
Oh god, that's right.
That and a mobile tie-in game to the Minions movie.
Oh,
Right.
fuck. I forgot. I was thinking that was Ubisoft for a moment too.
Nope, that was EA.
That's right. Oh my god.
Gotta get the kid bucks too. You can't.
Pele's, what, 74, 75 years old? Like, when's the last time he was actually relevant? 1970?
I bet you he's going to be an unlockable character in FIFA.
Yeah,
I might actually I might buy a FIFA just for that, just to see this old guy trying to relive the glory
Other
days.
than that, we got Mirror's Edge Catalyst. They didn't show off much more than we've seen since they changed the name last week. But
and the game doesn't look that bad. Weren't they talking about they wanted to make it open world this time around?
Yeah, it's an open world game rather than the linear episode or chapter-based game the first one was.
Wait, this is the first I've heard. Is it a sequel, prequel? I mean, what is it?
From what it's supposed to be a reimagining, like they're going back on the idea of Mirror's Edge and doing it again.
Huh, okay.
So, after one entry in the series, they're rebooting it?
Apparently.
Wow.
Okay.
I don't know why they didn't want to continue the story, but the whole idea is that they're fleshing out the open world free running game.
Which gameplay-wise sounds cool.
Yeah, they're really stressing that this game is about not using guns.
Right. Well, yeah, you never get to use a gun ever.
And contrary to that, we've got Star Wars Battlefield that used lots of guns.
Battlefield.
It was Battlefield. Like, dude, when they started showing off the Battle of Hoth, like the rebel soldier that they immediately started panning into, that guy was holding an AK laser rifle.
Oh,
I dare you people to look back at that and tell me I'm wrong.
Oh my god.
It's all right. So next.
I'm so sad caking right now.
Let me finish off with Battlefront. Like, as much shit as I'm giving it, I'm gonna be honest, I'll eventually play it. I'm just not paying full price for it.
Yeah,
Like
so you're gonna what? Wait for a fucking Battlefront, wait for a Star Wars title on Origin to get a reduced price?
Dude,
Yeah, it's
it'll
like waiting
happen.
for Mass Effect DLC to get a reduced price.
It'll happen, dude. Like, if enough backlash happens, they'll make up for it.
Doubt it.
Anyway, so that covers EA because
Yeah.
just like their presentation, they saved Star Wars for last, and it was underwhelming.
Sports.
Right. Pretty much.
Moving on to MemeSoft.
Ubisoft.
What a love-hate relationship.
How could you have started so good in your life and ended up such a piece of shit?
Are you talking about the conference or the
Talking about
company?
the company.
'Cause
I
it
can't
goes
tell
for
anymore.
both.
Like Ubisoft is basically Anakin Skywalker as a company. Like, he started out kind of okay, but really rather lame. And then he ended up kind of a badass who didn't know what the fuck he was talking about ever. And then after that, he became a complete and total piece of shit that obviously hated his life.
Wow.
Ubisoft in a nutshell. I want to see someone draw that now.
But yeah, just about every conference this year, they opened strong enough, revealed a new South Park game.
Fractured Butthole.
Yes,
Which
the
honestly
Fractured
sounds fun.
Butthole.
Like, I want to know if that's still going to be the RPG with
Yeah.
Stick of Truth
Yeah.
or okay.
It's a sequel to Stick of Truth.
I just love how self-aware all the dialogue was.
They knew.
That combat was shit. So we can't shoot for worse than 9.5 on GameSpot.
That's okay. Yeah, South Park is amusing. I'm still tentatively excited about The Division. They did remove that mobile app that was gonna let people buff up their buddies while they're at work or whatever. So
Which is
that's
kind of
kinda
shitty,
sad.
actually.
That's kind of sad. I do dig that it's a co-op game. I kind of don't dig that they've announced the Dark Zone, which is gonna have the best loot in the game, but it's like it's not really a forced PvP environment, but it's where it could be anywhere around the corner for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's okay by me, but I can see that a lot, well, not a lot, but quite a few people are going to be kind of alienated by that. They're expecting, co-op
Yeah.
play all the way through and not having to deal with getting into PvP to get top end gear. But we'll have to see how the game plays. Like, I want to experience it firsthand before I render final judgment. But I'm tentatively hopeful about it. Like,
I'll join you in the hope, and
Uh,
that sounds like the dogs back there are kind of hoping as well.
Yeah. What I want to know is if the whole rogue status thing is permanent. Like, they showed the end of the trailer, one of the guys disconnected from his team and killed them all.
well, they went rogue stealing other people's loot, and then this guy's like, oh, well, this guy's
Yeah.
damaged and she's fucked up, so I'm just gonna take fucking everything and run.
Yeah, I just want to know if the whole rogue alignment thing is a permanent thing or if you can get back into good graces somehow.
I'm wondering if the owner of Ubisoft is Ryan. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. There was another
These
interesting.
dogs are flipping out.
There was another interesting game they showed off. What was it called? Honored?
Oh yeah, For Honor.
Yeah, For Honor.
Honor.
You mean Pirates, Vikings, and Knights 3 without Source and with samurais,
With samurais this time around.
Instead of pirates. 'cause
Yeah.
A game like this shouldn't have guns in it. OP as fuck, yo. Pirates, let me fart at you until you die.
You still enjoy PvK, I take it.
It was somewhat amusing, though I never played it.
You really should. Like, I only showed you like how it plays and stuff. You really got to try it out for yourself sometime.
So you keep telling me that, and I keep telling you I've got other shit to do, like
Fuck.
trim my toenails and wash my hair.
Anyway,
There's some other games out there. The Crew is getting an expansion. Those who
Ooh,
like Drive Club
yeah.
games.
Yeah.
They had the weirdest teaser trailer of all time for Trials Fusion Awesome Level Max.
Right?
what the fuck you got to say
I
to
don't
that?
know.
Like, what has that got to do with Trials?
I don't know, but yeah, anyone who's watching, you can look at the bottom of the screen where there's a cat with a gun riding a flaming unicorn. That's about a racing game.
To be honest, Trials is barely a racing
Or
game.
it's a bike stunt track game.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty.
It's not
unique.
about unicorns and cats. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, unless this is like the awesome level max bike setup you get, at
I
which
guess
point
so.
I'm buying it just for that.
Yeah, other than that, we got a trailer for Anno 2205.
That sounded kind of cool.
Allows you to expand your city enough to launch to the moon and create a moon base.
Which, you know, could be excellent if it works out. Anno has actually been a pretty decent series.
I haven't tried it yet, and I want to. Like, I've seen it from a distance, and it looks fun.
It's a neat ass city builder if you're into city builders.
I kind of am.
We also got Trackmania coming to consoles. We got Rainbow Six Siege shown off.
Which looks fun.
Rainbow Six Siege has a co-op mode.
Yeah.
And this co-op mode has a realistic difficulty setting.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited about the hair-pulling hatred that this is going to generate me and many other people.
Oh, we'll become the hated game guys soon enough.
Pretty much.
Also, we got the annual installment of Just Dance, which they're...
Do we want to talk about the performance on that? What was the name of that artist
Jason
again?
Derulo.
All we're gonna say is Jason Derulo sucks live.
Yeah.
Give this man some auto-tune.
I mean, apparently it's ditching the Kinect and other console cameras to allow you to use your smartphone to capture motion for the game. Also announced Ubisoft's latest evil plan for monetization. I mean, a monthly streaming service that lets you get continuous Just Dance content to your game.
Yep.
And other than that,
Okay, so Just Dance is the most successful, like, Kinect/camera-based title ever.
Yeah.
But you can only polish a piece of shit so far.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. We got Assassin's Creed Syndicate. We got trailer.
Which you actually seem interested in this time
Yeah,
around.
they sold me on the setting because it's less Victorian aesthetic, more Industrial Revolution Britain. It's fucking...
It's kind of gothic industrial.
Yeah, that's the aesthetic. Like, yes, I want this. It's all Charles Dickens and all that, getting your lads together to overthrow the evil corporations.
I will give the game a shot after it's released, because I'm not sure.
Let
if
the
they're
day one
gonna-
patches go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
We
sure if they're
we
gonna
learned from
repeat-
Unity.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, they closed out with a interesting trailer for a new Tom Clancy Ghost Recon game.
Yeah, like for a while, I actually started thinking they were going to return to the modernization of Call of Juarez, while that trailer was going on.
So, Ghost Recon Wildlands, I may not be very excited about the game itself, but I gotta say, as far as preview videos go, that was the best put together preview video I've seen. Like the transition where the blood is going into the coke and then it zooms in on the bloody coke and it's laid out exactly like the ground that the squad is running across. Like that is the slickest video transition I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think that probably for me would definitely be top 3 trailers this year. Another big one in the next conference.
Well, I want to finish off by saying that, good God, Aisha, the head performer, Lana.
Lana!
No, yeah, it's that Lana. God, she was...
You want to make a meme right here?
Yeah, just make a meme.
Hey,
Like,
baby, want some meme?
good God, she was forcing some bad jokes.
Should we just call her Rivers waifu?
Oh.
Well, I guess if you expect her to be slumming it that hard.
Wait a second. So the baby wasn't Archer's all along. It's Rivers.
Spoiler alert!
Lana! All right.
Yes, the baby's first words will be, "My body is ready."
No, baby's first words will be, "Danger zone."
God damn it. No, I like the idea of my body is ready when it's about to, like, breastfeed.
All right, that's it.
Yeah,
Show's
that's
up.
enough. Let's move
All
on
the
from there.
things.
Hey, hold up. We're not done jumping the shark yet.
We're really not, because up next is Sony.
Yeah.
And then after this, why don't we go ahead and follow up with a quick intermission?
I don't know. We're going to be running late with this one already.
Yeah, we are, because there's a lot to go into, especially with our final thoughts.
Yeah. No break. There are no breaks.
No
No
break this
breaks.
time.
Work. You work now.
Yeah,
Yes, Master Sony. Yes, Master Sony.
I am gonna have to go soon, so my final.
All right, fine then. So no break this time around. But hey, if you do want to actually call in and share what you thought about some of the experiences, we'll save your opportunity around the final thoughts. What do you guys say? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way how you guys can get a hold of us is you can reach us at our Skype account at GoodGameGuys1, and just send us a friend request and let me know what your topic is. That way I know you're a person, and we'll fit you in as soon as possible. Or shit, if you're already on the friends list, just call in. Anyway,
Right.
so
Toward the end of the show, please.
yeah, towards the end of the show this time around, we have a lot to get to. So Sony.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh no! And when Deg says that, it makes me worried.
Oh no, see, because here's the thing he's kind of worried about is because I personally was kind of pissed off during the Sony conference.
Well, they opened up with, "Hey, we did the thing. It's finally here."
Yeah, they opened up with The Last Guardian, which I'm gonna sit back.
Happening.
I'm gonna sit back and just kind of let it go because I never played Ico. I barely played Shadow Colossus. I don't get it, but if it's what you guys want, right on.
I've been wanting The Last Guardian since 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Did we get a release date? I don't think we did.
We
got a release. Oh yeah, we got a release window for 2016.
Yeah, vague 2016. Guessing it's probably going to be around holidays or similar time frame, maybe separated by a month or two from Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
But
So
the thing that I was oh-godding about.
okay, which one do you want to go into the first with the oh god?
Let's go with the one game I actually cared about their conference, Horizon.
Which was?
Horizon, Monster Hunter with robots.
Okay. Horizon is Guerrilla Games' new game, Horizon Zero Dawn. Guerrilla Games are the guys that brought us Killzone. So we know that they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
But as far as this game, how in the hell do you justify archery versus mechanical fucking dinosaurs?
That's what's losing me
because
really
really
hard.
cool.
Oh, dude, we have a caller. Your name's Hawkeye, bitch.
I was about to see your Hawkeye and raise you a green arrow.
Ooh.
Hawkeye.
I'm gonna see your Hawkeye and raise you a honeycut.
No, but anyway, yeah, Horizon's fucking weird to me because the whole concept was basically we advanced so far in technology that we resorted back to caveman lifestyle. And
No, what happened was we advanced so far that the machines took over and they became all life on the planet.
Let me interrupt you right here.
What?
I'm upset that TKO didn't get the obvious MASH reference.
Aw.
Oh, what? What?
That bothers me. He made me feel old. He's older than I am.
Dude, I've only watched a few episodes of MASH, and my father was hogged the TV, and that was all that was there to watch, and oogle over the blonde chick because every young kid did back in the day.
Lol. How dare you?
What?
Anyway, moving right along.
Yeah,
Am I wrong?
Horizon's just a weird fucking concept to me.
Now,
I'm
there's
just leaving it there.
The other game that I thought had an amazing trailer, the new Hitman game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that seems cool.
I hope they go back to the old school Hitman. Where
Oh,
you
they are.
choose
They're
your
cool. They
layout, your loadout, and
It's like the whole game is assassination driven this time. It's not a story. You are hunting contracts the whole time.
Even going as far to allow people to customize their own assassin contracts.
I didn't mind the story of the last one. I just minded that they did not let me choose what gun I wanted to bring, what amp, like.
Yeah, they're bringing that all back.
money?
That's all coming back.
Yeah,
you,
that's
you,
what disappointed
you didn't
me.
watch any of the E3 stuff, man.
Yeah, you didn't do your
unprepared.
homework. F, see me after class.
Nice.
So let's go into the stuff that there's definitely going to be a conflict over.
Yeah, there's something that Jason's really upset about that I'm kind of laughing at him about.
So do you want to start off with Final Fantasy or Shenmue?
Let's go ahead and start off with Shenmue.
So Shenmue.
Shenmue
Why the
3.
fuck did I watch a Kickstarter ad at a Sony press conference?
What?
Because Sony said that they were going to help Yu Suzuki actually do this.
Yeah, 'cause this is the future of crowdfunding. Big corporations hold their IPs hostage and put up Kickstarter ads to gauge interest in them.
Even
Did
though
Sony at some point buy Sega? Because I'm pretty sure what ended up happening was Yu Suzuki managed to convince Sega to give him the rights.
I'm assuming as such, but at the same time, it's. I hate using the slippery slope fallacy, but this precedent is kind of what that opens up for. That other companies are saying, hey, this guy really loved his cult classic IP, and this big AAA publisher helped him get money for it.
Yeah, and they basically managed to round up $2 million immediately when this thing was first announced.
9 hours after the conference.
And okay, what was the initial budget originally? Was it $2 million? No, it wasn't even.
The original one cost $70 million.
I mean, if you
Shenmue.
look,
No.
I'm
talking about their Kickstarter goal.
That
Kickstarter
like
goal was $2
million.
Okay,
For
so
the first Shenmue on the Dreamcast.
okay, now
So what we're looking at basically is, Sony is probably holding the purse strings for this particular project. I am sure that they are going to be the ones publishing it. And so I'm assuming that the Kickstarter stuff for Shenmue is for a bunch of stretch goals that Sony didn't want to pay for.
Yeah. I've seen some of the stretch goals, though, and they are really boring. Like, most of the opening stretch goals were subtitles. Different language tracks and localizations.
Wasn't there also something about like a cinematic or like a cinema for the first?
Oh yeah,
two
there
Shenmues?
was basically a movie recap version of the first 2 Shenmue games,
which came with Shenmue 2. Actually, they had a movie recap of Shenmue 1. So, assuming that they've got access to that stuff, all they're going to have to do is make it prettier.
I don't know. I just felt that entire thing was kind of wrong.
They're really riding out the nostalgia.
No, especially when Sony has already opened up saying that they're basically they are in fact funding the game itself.
Yeah, they're co-funding.
They are co-funding it. Thank you.
I'm still okay with the whole process.
I'm really not, because this wasn't the intent of what crowdfunding was supposed to be.
Get informed and vote with your wallet. I'm not sure how many times I need to say this.
Right?
Yeah, either way, I don't like it as a precedent. But then again, that's just been a belief of a lot of gamers when it comes to Kickstarter, that it's not a platform for a AAA company.
Right.
It's a platform for the little guy to get his big ideas out there.
That's a fair assessment, but given that they raised over $2 million within 9 hours, it's really saying something. It is really telling what the average consumer is willing to put out on Kickstarter.
That's fair, and it's telling that people wanted Shenmue, and this is why I'm saying, especially when we were talking about this before the show, Shenmue would have been fine if they actually did just attempt to crowdfund it altogether. Tell me it could not raise the same money that Yooka-Laylee and Bloodstain brought up. Tell me it couldn't.
Well, okay. Remember, the first Shenmue, the very first game in the series, took them $34 million to make the game. The second game in the series took them closer to what, like 68?
70. That's what I heard, 70 million.
I've never even heard of the game.
Okay, so the third game in the series, which people are going to be expecting to be bigger, better, bigger, longer, uncut, is going to be an expensive prospect. It's kind of obvious that Sony's going to have to foot the bill for that. The only game in the history of crowdfunding overall to pull in that much money currently is Star Citizen, and it didn't do it with Kickstarter alone. I mean, it's got its own donation pages and all that sort of shit set up. So yeah, they could have gone that route, but it would have taken them years into the development process when shit was already done, yo. And then they would have to add a bunch of stretch goals on top of it, and I'm worried that that would just extend the development process for longer than the hype train will last. So having a cash infusion immediately by Sony, like holding the purse strings, giving the initial budget for the game, and then going to Kickstarter for stretch goals, yeah, kind of shitty. But if it's early enough in the process that it doesn't really waste a whole lot of time just wasting your life away, waiting, it's okay. I mean, like, I'm not putting any money toward it. I will buy the game when it's out.
Mm-hmm.
And you may do with your money whatever you choose to. But to say that you find it shiesty and that this sort of thing should never happen, vote with your wallet. If enough people, don't put money into it, then it won't keep happening. Problem is, consumers are fucking stupid creatures.
Idiots.
Well, yeah.
I mean, shit. I think we kind of saw that when they even first announced this. I mean, well, all right. I'm not saying they're stupid for wanting a Shenmue. I'm just saying that I gotta side with Dan. Like, I feel like this is going to be a slippery slope that's going to be going for the worst.
It's going to start another trend in companies screwing us over.
Yeah, and
because we let them.
They're not going to be screwing me over because, frankly, I'm not fucking putting money into that practice.
Nor am I.
But how many other people? All right, so you're how many people out of the, let's say, an average of millions of people that donated?
Remember, I'm the guy laughing at you for buying into early access.
Ugh.
Okay, well, it's one out of the 3 nostalgia points that Sony has. Let's not spend too much time.
Yeah,
on it.
like I said,
That's
my
fair.
final thought with that entire thing, just to get a brief head up, I think it's scummy, and I hope to God I don't see this from other companies. Like, if Silent Hills were to try and pull this shit off, I'd feel incredibly disappointed. And you know how I fucking feel about Silent Hills.
Yeah, the game's not going to get made. So, there's that.
So let's go ahead and get on to Final Fantasy VII.
Oh boy. Final Fantasy VII Advent within Spirits Chronicles 7 Remake.
Okay, so I guess part of me is like, okay, cool. They're finally delivering on the whole thing where they're remaking Final Fantasy VII. But to be honest, first off, I was expecting this shit back on PlayStation 3. And to be honest, at this point in time, I don't really give a shit about Final Fantasy VII anymore because it's a dead horse.
Here's the question I've got. Did they show anything of Final Fantasy 15?
No.
No, not at all.
Okay.
None of the conferences, not even
So-
Square Enix, showed Final Fantasy 15.
Okay.
Damn.
Well, that sounds like a ball dropped.
Yeah, I was mad about that.
'Cause I was-
Watching
They
yeah.
showed us this little video showing us that, hey, they're actually remaking Final Fantasy VII with no release date, with no release window, with no real good look at what any of the in-game gameplay stuff is going to look like.
no mention of the fact that it's a multiplat.
No, yeah, I mean,
is?
Yeah,
well,
Wow.
it has to be. I mean, the original Final Fantasy is on Steam. Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
most of their conference were games. Play it first on PS4, also on PC.
Yeah, I mean, what actual exclusives is Sony going to get? I'm assuming that Horizon Zero Dawn is going to be a Sony exclusive.
That's the only one that we know of so
that
far.
Last
and
Guardian,
Uncharted 4 and,
Uncharted
The
4.
Last Guardian. And that's it.
Oh, and Ratchet and Clank, which they only showed in a fucking montage.
Ratchet and Clank wasn't shown off. I'm surprised. There's so many big games that none of the conferences tackled. No showing of MGS5, no showing for Ratchet and Clank, no showing for Final Fantasy 15.
MGS5 was not in the conference, but Konami had their own booth where Phantom Pain was given a release date of September 1st. They had gameplay demos, all of that.
They had
sort
a
of
new
stuff.
trailer out. Nobody
People-
wanted to show it.
People got hands-on behind the scenes, but they're under an embargo. They can't show us.
Just, yeah, what the fuck else did they even show off at the Sony conference? Call of Duty,
Let's see,
which
yeah,
I think people are...
Oh, PlayStation is the new home of Call of Duty.
Oh,
COD
God.
Ops 3. All right, moving right along.
I think this one's going to be the Call of Duty where even Call of Duty fans start backing away from it, because it's going to be too different for him.
Uh,
Seriously, they're showing off fucking augmented powers and shit.
What?
Yeah.
You, like Advanced Warfare had?
No, more so than that. Like,
You can send bees.
some bees
What?
are. They even showed like this guy
Right.
throwing a power up to this other dude. Where now the guy that was shooting at him's throwing up.
Wait.
Yeah.
You know
Call
what-
of
you know
Duty Black Ops Infinite.
Pretty much.
what- you know what I
Pretty
find
much.
kind of funny? That would not be silly in a Metal Gear game.
No, it wouldn't.
Because I'm like,
It would not in the
3,
slightest.
There was a guy throwing hornets at me.
It wasn't silly in BioShock either.
Well, yeah, but it's like in Call of Duty, it's just that's supposed to be realistic.
That's actually one of my favorite comments about MGS5 this year. So it was just making a scenario because they showed off a little thing teasing Psycho Mantis in Phantom Pain. It's like Kaz is like, dude, there's some weird guy floating around asking me about games. Big Boss is like, yeah, I fought a guy made of bees once.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's pretty amusing, but that's really not a part of the Sony conference. But it very well should have been.
It should have been.
Should have been.
I mean, because even then, they didn't even bother much with Star Wars Battlefront because they announced it there too.
Yeah,
but they also
they showed a new co-op game, gameplay.
But instead of even going further into that, they decided to open up with talking about the Disney Infinity 3.0.
Yeah, they went more into Disney Infinity than they did Battlefront.
Yeah.
Because they have exclusive Boba Fett amiibo. That's what I'm calling it from now on. Any Toys to Life game, I'm just calling it amiibo.
But no, I mean, well, not even then. Like, that thing's not even supposed to be exclusive. Like, it's get it first here before it's out on stores.
Right.
Well, that's why Sony doesn't know the meaning
exclusive.
Yeah, Sony doesn't know the meaning of the word exclusive. That's why I love the tagline, only on PlayStation, with asterisk. Also on
only
PC.
on PlayStation, for now.
Yep. And just, I know I'm forgetting one other game. I know I am.
Uncharted 4? We didn't talk about that yet.
Probably was Uncharted, because I feel like
No Man's Sky.
Okay, yeah, there was No Man's Sky. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that anymore.
No Man's Sky, if I try to experience that, is going to be a PC experience. For
yeah.
me.
There is Street Fighter 5 also on PC.
But we know that Street Fighter 5's not going to work.
Yeah. Well, we already got a hilarious Day Zero glitch.
Oh yeah, with Uncharted.
No, with Street Fighter 5.
Oh,
we'll get to the Uncharted thing.
All right, you cover the Street Fighter because I want it I can cover Uncharted.
It was confirmed a bug, but in the E3 build of Street Fighter 5, if you're player 2 and you select Chun-Li on the intro versus screen, it'll show Chun-Li with massive jiggling tits.
Lol.
Yeah, apparently they work breast physics into the loading screen.
Wow.
Huh.
And apparently Chun-Li needs to calm her tits before the game comes out.
I'm just waiting
They're all over the place.
I'm just waiting for cries of the SJWs at that point. Misogyny.
Probably part of why they called it a bug.
It's not misogyny. It's our math was wrong.
Oh, they don't know the difference.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, so and then we'll get into the Uncharted bug, which was probably one of the funnier moments.
You say the Unravel guy was nervous. What about Nathan Drake?
Yeah.
Oh,
for those who weren't aware, Sony closed with a gameplay demo of Uncharted 4, but due to some staging error, the game opened up and Nathan Drake was standing perfectly still.
He was standing perfectly still and just wasn't. The entire game was just playing as normal. And then they had to restart the entire thing all over again. So we had to watch the cutscene where him and Sully are basically just going through this town center. And then the game started. And now we're starting to see the actual gameplay itself.
Right. And that's kind of a given. I mean, you should think that, Naughty Dog with their phenomenal cosmic set pieces would figure out a way to make their E3 demo not bug out.
Yeah. Then again, it's E3. We always have to have at least one tech demo fail.
You know what? It's not a live show unless you've got technical difficulties.
That's true, and we had tons of that shit during our first year.
I'm really sad River wasn't here tonight because he finally got his Uncharted.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's fair.
The whole gameplay demo was driving downhill in a Jeep.
Racing a Jeep downhill.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's... That's
So-
Sony. Let's go to everyone's most reviled conference.
Dude, I even kind of feel it myself.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say what I always said, dude. Fuck Nintendo. Wake me up when it's over.
All right. Like I said, I'll just go through it quick. I got my Star Fox game, which is awesome. The thing I think that sucks an awful lot about it is there's no multiplayer in it whatsoever. No online, no local multiplayer, and that's a huge step backwards.
Well,
in
from
my
what they
fucking eye.
said, it's being co-developed by Platinum Games, and it's basically the spiritual continuation of Star Fox 2.
Which still had some form of multiplayer, if I
And-
recall right.
It was never finished, so how would we know?
That's fair.
Either way, they've said their big focus is this time showing off a grand cinematic story. They're not focused on having all range mode as attacked on multiplayer this time.
Right.
It's like I can give them that. It's fun. Like I want to see what Platinum Games collabing with Nintendo will result for in a Star Fox story.
I'm sure it'll be awesome. Like, especially since they're saying this is going to be a prequel to 64. That's a definite hint we're getting so far, especially with the title of
Yeah.
the name.
I'm just excited about being able to choose any of your ships to do any of the missions, and each one having some transformation that takes them from air to ground.
Is that for all of them? I thought it was just going to be for the one.
Nope, the R-Wing transforms into a walker mode. The Landmaster turns into the Gravmaster hover tank.
Huh.
And the Gyro Wing has a transformation that lets it drop a robotic drone that you can use to get into small spaces.
That I remember. I'm just wondering, are they going to try and make the loadout the same as 64, or are they going to try and bring up what they did with Command and the original concepts of Star Fox 2, where it was all just kind of like a strategy in itself, where you had to pick which
we've
destination
had very
you wanted to
little
go
looks
to.
at the structure of the game so far. We've just seen a handful of missions, but so we have no idea what the story's going to look like and how the gameplay is going to be laid out before you.
Yeah. I'm just still saying, like, if for whatever reason somebody works at Nintendo right now that has control or influence, please, for the love of God, make a patch later on in life. Bring up multiplayer, okay? This game had potential with multiplayer.
I think it has potential just fine right now.
I'm just saying, I want some multiplayer going for it, because there was a time and point where Star Fox multiplayer was still a thing. And
Yeah, but
when they
the-
last tried doing it online was with Command, and the only reason it did terrible was because anytime anyone would rage quit in that game, the entire match would finish, and you had to wait in queue all over again.
I suppose so, but I said, with the exception of Assault, the multiplayer has always just been a tacked-on, all-range mode deathmatch game.
And I'm fine with that. I am totally fine with that.
All right.
It's like, they might be able to patch in tacked-on all-range mode, but who knows? I don't think there'll ever be local multiplayer, though, considering the...
I could okay. I'm willing to at least accept maybe that local multiplayer, especially with the fact that they have the control set based around the Wii tablet. I get that. Or maybe even you could try and tell me that you could implement the 3DS to work with the Wii, kind of like the same way they do with Super Smash Bros, where they integrate it so you can use the 3DS as a controller. I can maybe
the only
see
problem
that.
with that would the gyro controls and the second screen thing would get really awkward in a split screen game.
That's fair.
So, what else did Nintendo fuck up?
Well, if River was here.
Well, the only thing I really consider a fuck up and the thing everyone's giving shit Nintendo for was
The Metroid. The
yes,
fucking
Nintendo
Federation thing.
finally announces a new Metroid game. Except
Is Samus
it's
in it?
no, she
No,
has a
she's-
cameo.
Yeah, she's just a cameo.
But it's a 4-player co-op game focusing around tiny Federation soldiers in mech suits.
The
Lol.
fuck?
It's also an objective-based mission structure game.
That apparently has like fucking foosball or something in it too.
Yeah,
Wow.
it has a soccer mini game part of the game, which I'm convinced they developed that part of the game first and then decided to develop the rest into a
Yeah, like
Metroid game.
I want to hear the development story there with that one.
Do you?
It's like, and fan reaction to this is just insane. Like, I'm a huge
They've
Metroid
got a
fan.
petition out there that's got over
yeah.
12,000 signatures to cancel the game.
Yeah, I love Metroid games.
I'm with you.
This isn't a Metroid game.
I'm not
Exactly.
mad about this game. Like, it's a game. Okay, it's no exploring. It's not Samus, so why should I care either way about it? It's like if it was okay, we're going to have this game. It's basically instanced MMO combat, and it's featuring Samus and her 3 sisters that we found out she just had. Then I would be mad.
Okay, yeah.
But if it's a game about the Federation in a different art style, the most I can do is just not care about the game and not buy it. I'm not going to get up in arms, drag the trailer's dislike ratio 9-1.
Isn't more of the problem too?
Sign a petition asking for the game's cancellation, especially when it's still in the alpha stages.
Isn't more of the problem still revolved around the fact that, you know, they're saying that it's only going to be local co-op only? Was there online play?
I never heard that it was only going to be local co-op. From what I know, it's online. It's going to have online.
My
co-op.
bad. I've had the reverse.
The big problem is, I hate to use this word. I hate to pull an IGN, but it is 100% gamer entitlement. People have been waiting for a Metroid game this whole time, and they didn't get the Metroid game they wanted. So any other Metroid game will not do.
No, like seriously, don't give me this fucking gamer entitlement bullshit. This wasn't this isn't a Metroid game at all. It's not.
This is Nintendo cashing in on the brand. Like, thanks, Nintendo. You took the spot of worst company in America away from E3. Or, excuse me, away from EA.
Yeah, right.
It was one game that can be easily ignored. I've seen plenty of franchises have games that nobody cares about, but none of them got up in arms and demanded heads over it.
Nintendo fans are pretty hardcore as far as a fan base goes.
I feel ashamed with that one. That's just ridiculous.
You should. You're associated with it.
I just can't even, like. And I thought the rest of their conference was just fine. Like, I liked the style of the new Zelda game, a 3-player online co-op game where you play as one of 3 different Links.
That I'd have to let River, like, River's probably more the Zelda fan here.
Yeah, he's just mad because it's not a Wii U game, even though they're already working on a Wii U game.
Was that his reason? I thought more of his reason was just because they were making another 4 Swords, and it wasn't 4 Swords.
Yeah, the big reason they gave for why it's not a 4 Swords rather than 3 Swords is that the game uses a totem system where the Links stand on each other's shoulders to tackle taller enemies, and when developing the game, 4 characters was just too tall.
Right.
So they knocked it down to 3. But it has a lot going for it. It's got different power-ups. It's got costumes that Link can wear that affect his abilities and items. It's got a small emote system. It's got single player, and I think the story is kind of interesting in and of itself. Link traveling to a new land where they're looking for a hero of legend who's destined to save the land, and it turns out 2 other guys there think they're the same hero.
I actually kind of like the fight going on with in the chat room right now. If I could divert attention there a little bit. There's actually kind of a fight talking about how the Federation are technically the bad guys and how they don't want to play as them. I don't know if I'd say the Federation is really bad guys.
They're the bad guys in the same way that the doctors from Jurassic Park are the bad guys.
Law.
It's like you tell them don't clone the dinosaurs, and they clone the dinosaurs. They're not actively cloning dinosaurs to kill people. They're just incredibly stupid.
I give it that, yeah.
So they're like the XCOM Council.
Like, hell, maybe that's the next true Metroid we're gonna get. Is the Galactic Federation opens a theme park with all these extinct life forms that Samus killed, and Samus is going to telling how fucking stupid they are, and suddenly we get a Metroid with arms.
I want this to be a game now. This is the next Metroid game.
It has to star Chris Pratt as Samus, though.
No, Chris Pratt would be Adam. Adam comes back from the dead.
I want to see someone do that now. I need on my desk by next week a GIF of Samus rolling in her Powerball with a fleet of Metroids behind her.
Oh God. So anyway, let's go ahead and close up Nintendo with the Animal Crossing board game with Amiibo support, whatever.
There's that 3DS version of Hyrule Warriors that's supposed to include all the DLC characters.
And Mario Maker, which we all knew
Super
about.
Mario Maker, which I still want to know why they changed the name and added the Super. Because my theory on it is that they'd release a free version of Mario Maker that has like smaller, more limited functionality for people who who want to try it before building the full Super Mario Maker, which is going to be an actual physical title. That's my theory. It's out there. Let's see what happens.
And following up, we got more stuff on Fire Emblem, even the Fire Emblem Shin Megami Tensei crossover.
We actually saw them play it on stream during E3. It looks a lot less weeb in the gameplay than it does in the cutscenes and cinematic teasers they've shown.
Isn't that Shin Megami Tensei in a nutshell, though?
It's more Persona than anything, but it's still a really weird-looking game. Like, the gameplay is great, the art style and the cinematics is just... What?
Persona. I mean, like, these are the guys that made you summon your special abilities as
by shooting yourself.
High school teenager by shooting yourself in the head, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, guys,
So
have to get going.
Later, man.
Peace
Take care,
out,
buddy.
chat peoples.
We say goodbye to TKO.
Yes.
Splash 1.
I'm going down, Negro down.
I mean, yeah. Other than that, when it comes to Nintendo, we just mostly got a bunch of release dates for games we already knew about, and also got an announcement of a crossover between Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi.
Oh, right. That was another one that kind of caught my interest. Like, that seemed kind of cool.
Yeah. That was probably the most anticipated game that they showed a trailer for at their presentation.
Right.
People, they're big fans of the Mario RPG series, and to see the two worlds collide is a crazy thing. Especially confirming that the Paper Mario universe exists outside of the regular Mario universe.
That was kind of like what blew my mind a little bit, too.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, so that kind of covers Nintendo. And I think the only last thing I want to say is what I walked away from is Reggie, Miyamoto, and Iwata as puppets.
As Muppets, actually.
Oh, Muppets, yeah, that's right, because they were made by the Jim Henson Studios.
Honestly, yeah, Nintendo didn't have a good E3. They didn't have enough hype, but honestly, I think the games they didn't show off in their presentation that they had at E3 were actually a lot more exciting than what they did show off. Like, for those who haven't seen it yet, look up Fast Racing Neo. It is basically an F-Zero game in all but title. It's an impressive racer for a indie title. Should look into it.
Yeah, and, you know, like, I kind of get the feeling like maybe at least later on during this year we'll find out some more stuff they plan to release later on. Like, you know, I'm with Dan at least. The reason disappointment kind of exists is because they didn't talk about any of the real future projects.
Yeah, their plans were to show off games that were due out in 2015 or the first quarter of 2016.
And I get that. So, I mean, I'm stand by. I'm disappointed with Nintendo, but at the same time, I at least want to see something coming out of the absence.
I went in with low expectations and was not disappointed.
Anyway,
speaking of disappointments,
Square Enix.
Yeah. We said how Bethesda kind of knocked it out the park in their first outing at E3. Squeenix, on the other hand, is a little... It kind of stumbled with theirs.
They really did, and I think part of the problem was because a lot of their games actually got announced in the Microsoft and Sony conference. Like, there wasn't really much else to say. Like, here's our teaser.
Kind of got stolen.
Yeah, here's our teaser for Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, it was also kind of a more formal talk. They didn't really know how to talk to E3 audiences. That and they failed the rule of show, don't tell.
Mhm.
A lot of what they did was describe these games, not show us what these games can do.
Right. But they did show us Just Cause 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With
They
more,
what?
you got the new wingsuit and an even better grappling hook for more grappling shenanigans.
And a rocket pack.
Yeah.
Lol. They showed us Hitman.
Yeah, we got the new Hitman game, which looks amazing.
They
I'm
showed
excited.
us a little bit of Star Ocean.
Yeah, Star Ocean.
Which you were telling me was actually going to be a direct sequel of the third one.
Yeah, it's supposed to take place after the events of Star Ocean 3.
I'm still
Not
wondering.
a direct sequel, but
Okay.
after that in the timeline.
I'm still wondering how the fuck you're gonna explain the story after you realize that the main characters you were in were all in a video game all along.
Well, you're gonna have to get the game and find out.
I guess so.
And I think what interested me most about Squeenix was they showed us Deus Ex.
Yeah, Mankind Divided.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
I want this.
Yeah.
But it's gonna have a lot to live up to. Like, Human
Yeah.
Revolution was good, but the forced combat for the boss battles, like, that was never a thing in Deus Ex. There was always a way around it.
Mm-hmm.
So Mankind Divided is gonna have to give us some more creative freedom.
I think they actually did confirm that you don't have to kill the bosses.
All right.
That's
Yeah.
just what I heard from some of the post, talks.
I mean, with the new Deus Ex series, like Human Revolution, Mankind Divided, I'm really digging on the aesthetic. I'm
Yeah.
really digging on the ultra, like the hyper future cyberpunk. Like, I mean, yes, it kind of smacks of X-Men as far as storyline goes. You know,
The mechanical apartheid.
basically.
Mm-hmm. Which got so much fucking backlash. Like, can you believe
Yeah.
that shit?
Yeah, there's a bit of drama going on that the developers use that term to describe the happenings of the game.
And,
All right.
and like I said, these fucking stupid idiots just fucking started attacking them, not knowing what the fuck.
Well, I mean, whatever.
Fuck them.
Like, talking about them lends more credence to what they're
Yeah.
saying.
It's just some people think words like apartheid and Holocaust should only be reserved for the key events that spawn them, and otherwise shouldn't be talked about.
Right?
That let them think what they want. They coined a good term, and it made enough sense when they spoke it.
Mm-hmm.
Either
Anyway, yeah, doesn't that kind of cover Square? Because like I said, a lot of their
we got
other...
a lot of mobile games.
yeah,
we got,
that's right.
we got those things everyone else
fucking
got
Tomb
to
Raider-
show off.
That Tomb Raider mobile game.
Yeah, Tomb Raider, Final Fantasy 13.
Right.
No, 7. I can't read my own notes.
Fail.
Cuts. Yeah, a lot of games they showed off in like highlight reels of stuff they had that they didn't talk about at all that a lot of people would be interested in, like Dragon Quest Heroes and Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, they had mobile games showing off. They had their two biggest announcements, in my opinion, were they are teaming up with Platinum Games to work on a new Nier game. They have that in the works,
Okay, that I missed.
and they've opened up a new studio called Tokyo RPG Factory. It's working on a new RPG IP called Project Setsuna that's due out next year.
Hey, quick interruption. I just got a text. Are we offline?
No, I'm
No?
looking at us right now. We're on.
Okay.
Interesting. Oh, technical difficulties. Hey, we're like Sony right now with Uncharted.
Gotta restart the show.
Oh, we got to restart it. Get Aaron
Oh,
back here.
no.
He's
Oh,
got to stop
God.
what he's doing.
No, I quit.
We almost done. We got one show left, and
We'll get
You
let's
didn't
get
miss
into
much.
it. Let's get into it because that's it with Square.
yeah, I don't think either you care about Nier or RPGs.
I'll be honest, I don't know. I'm
Well,
sure I'll be educated.
I do dig on RPGs so long as they're not J.
JRPGs can be okay.
Wait, that was the other game I was surprised that they didn't talk about. Was Bravely Second.
Oh right, I remember you and River
The
were kind of
sequel
going
to
on
Bravely
about that. Yeah.
Default that they announced a release date for and confirmed an English release for, and they didn't even care. I don't think they even showed it off in any of their highlight reels. It just doesn't exist, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Sure.
how about that PC gaming show?
All right, and here's our last one before we get into our final thoughts, and where you too can call in to share your opinions on what you thought about E3.
All right, so that PC gaming show.
God.
there's nothing
Yeah.
to see here. Move right along.
Seriously,
There was just AMD fucking chills.
Basically, like, oh, AMD is coming up with this new video card that nobody's ever actually played with. Herpy derp.
Well, it'll work great
The
for
drivers
your-
still aren't gonna work.
it will work great for your 4K 6-core monitor.
Lol. What? Wait. What?
Yeah, that was the big stumble to come out of that, is that they had one of the AMD representatives coming on to talk about 4K gaming, and the host, Sean Day9 Plot, he was talking about him being 4K ready, and he talking about, oh, I've already got my 6-core 4K monitor.
Oh.
Guys, wait, you have a 6-core monitor?
What?
It's like, I'm assuming it was a stumble in his train of thought. Like, I'm assuming
Yeah,
he
obviously.
meant 6-core computer 4K monitor.
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone took it as saying he had a 6-core monitor. And that was the big joke of that conference. Speaking of big jokes, the whole thing started an hour later than originally posted.
I remember you were fucking like messaging me
Yeah.
when they did finally start, and you were just hating the whole thing.
Yeah,
because
it's supposed to start at 5, didn't start at 6, and didn't finish until past 8:30. They sat there for 2.5 hours when it takes most conferences less than 90 minutes.
Wow.
That was unacceptable.
Don't forget about the Mountain Dew meme, because that was the thing you were bitching at
Oh
me
god,
the most.
that was their opening sting. They had a fancy PC Master Race cinema of someone building a new computer, and it tops off with them opening a bottle of Mountain Dew, pouring it into a champagne glass, and swirling it around like a sophisticate.
Wow.
So let's go into the few games that they kind of they announced there, because a lot of
You
them
mean
were
the 2 new games that actually got announced, while the rest
pretty
were
much.
things everyone heard about by now,
Yeah.
or stuff that's on early access.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to be fair, this wasn't really a PC conference as much as it was some random douche host
Yeah.
sponsored by AMD.
Yeah, AMD presents the early access talk show.
Right.
But yeah, okay, I think the 2 big games that are out there. There was a new American truck simulator was announced.
Well, sure. I mean, Euro Truck Simulator was cool and all, but we didn't have any U.S. trucks in it.
Yeah. Just a weird game to announce at E3.
That's fair.
It's not a hype builder. That's my biggest problem. There was nothing there to be hyped about.
Dude, the only thing I even remember, like, kind of catching from it, because I watched a recap, just for disclosure for everyone. I sat and watched a recap the entire thing, and to be honest, I just found myself just skipping it, because it's all like, heard of this,
Yep.
don't care, heard of this.
Right.
Yeah, we got stuff from
And-
Arma 3, stuff people talked about at all the other conferences, all the big early access games. Basically all this shit we've heard about, Microsoft coming on telling us all those games they talked about are coming to PC thanks to Windows 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the 2 big things, American Truck Simulator and Planet Coaster, a spiritual successor to Roller Coaster
Which, I'll be
Tycoon.
honest, that's the one thing I'm kind of excited about. I love the
That
fuck
was
out
the
of Roller
only
Coaster
thing
Tycoon.
interesting, though. I think the part of the conference that kind of annoyed me the most was they had a sting for Total War showing off. I don't know how many. I think it was an anniversary reel showing off all their Total Wars. Like, ending with a small preview of Total War Warhammer.
Why didn't they just call it Total Warhammer?
They actually asked that question.
They actually did.
And it's the biggest thing. They wanted to keep the distinction of the IPs, but you can call it Total Warhammer if you want. But the part that annoyed me the most about that is they used the same remix of Everybody Wants to Rule the World that Ubisoft used just last year for Assassin's Creed Unity.
Lol.
And it just bugged the crap out of me. It was...
Well, from what you were telling me while you were watching it, the whole show bugged the crap out of you.
Yeah. It just zero hype, a bad format. The time went on way too long.
Yeah, like the only things I even walk away from it too, as far as like we're talking about like stuff that was already announced. They talked about Strafe there, which is cool. We like Strafe. Well,
if
River
if you like AMD advertisements and indie early access titles, this would have been a show for you. But for me, I want to be excited. I want to see games that I want to buy day one.
Right.
I want to see.
And I only got that for two things.
I want to see Todd Howard give me his sweet, sweet lies.
I only got that for two things, to be honest with you. I got that for the Roller Coaster Tycoon game, and I got that for that other early access game, which is supposed to be a race to Mars. Yeah, and even then, I might not consider it just because I'm a little bit getting there with the shyness of early access. But then again, on Steam refund, I should be okay.
Well, I'm actually kind of amused because StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void, the prologue campaign, is releasing for free.
Yeah, but you still have to buy the expansion.
Well, yeah, of course you're going to have to buy the expansion, but they're releasing the piece that's going to basically be a mini campaign that's going to bridge Heart of the Swarm and Legacy of the Void together.
Oh yeah, that was another thing that came out of that is people are a little upset about Guild Wars' newest expansion coming soon. Yeah, they got a trailer for that, and they found out that it's a $50 expansion.
Well, sure. I mean, it was a $50 game, but at the same time, like, how much material is going to be in this expansion?
Well,
is it going to be additive, like the entire amount of Guild Wars 2 is being added to Guild Wars 2?
Not really. From what we know, it's mostly a new continent to the map and a guild system.
Well, the guild system's in place. They're actually giving guild halls.
Yeah, the guild hall system looks interesting, but from what I hear, it's not a lot of content to be putting a $50 price tag on. It feels less like Guild Wars and more World of Warcraft for an expansion.
I see. Well, they didn't really give any sort of release date info, so maybe the press will change as it.
That maybe more content will be revealed.
Mm-hmm.
Possible. Well, probably.
I think that's really it as far as the PC one's concerned. Like, I think the only other thing they talked about when Blizzard came out was showing off the trailer for Heroes of the Storm, which basically showed off more Diablo characters.
Plugging that and talking about
new game mode for it,
and talking about StarCraft. No talks about Overwatch. You know, the one thing that could have redeemed that conference.
Right.
Something to be excited about. They're not going to even touch it.
But there's kind of no point to doing a PC conference, considering that
most games are usually
that's on the E3 floor that's going to come on PC has already been talked about, except for the ones that have been held tightly to their chest by the people that are doing the conferences, like Bethesda, for instance.
Yeah, my biggest problem with it is it failed the one test I had for it, proving that the PC is the place to play this holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do any of that. They didn't convince me that PC gaming was anything big.
So,
to be fair, every other conference did their job for them.
Yeah.
Like, especially with Sony. It's like, hey, take a look at all of our multi-plat shit. Yeah, it's all coming on PC. So, enjoy.
Mm-hmm. So, alright. Now we're kind of reaching
Microsoft, hey, look, we're Windows 10. Hey, all of this shit that we're doing, you're probably going to be able to play it on your PC.
So now we're at our final thoughts segment. And like I said, this is the part where, hey guys, if you want to call in, this is your opportunity. Give us a call. Send us a friend request on our Skype account at GoodGameGuys1. If you don't know where the fuck to find that, you can easily just scroll down. If you're listening live, there's a little button right there with the Skype icon. Click that shit. You can call us.
Right. Click it good.
And Liam
So-
was actually letting me know that he wants to call up, so why don't we go ahead and
Okay.
get him in real quick?
Okay.
All right.
Because he was telling me that he was a little bit away for a moment, but he did want to share his thoughts. So Liam, hey, what's up, man?
Hey, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we hear you all
Yeah.
right. So you said you
All
wanted
right.
to kind of share a few things.
Yeah, I wanted to just, for me, E3's kind of a thing that I'd rather wait until all the dust settles before I kind of think of what games I actually want to, play. So actually the game, I'm going to just say the game that interests me the most, it was this small game called Unveiled. You seen that, right? Unraveled?
Yeah. We were talking about that.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a very soft spot for the indie games, the world. So I just looked at that and thought, oh, that looks adorable.
You're gonna buy that poor Swedish man's game.
Goddamn right. No, that was the best part to me. I'm like, that man has passion. That's something that
He did, and that's part of more why I felt bad for him when he was on stage, is because, like I was saying earlier, like this dude suffered stage fright, and I don't blame him.
This
I
guy's terrified. He's afraid that everyone's going to laugh at his piece of shit game.
And he's doing this at the EA conference too.
EA,
Right.
EA, like the most corporate gaming publisher of all, is
Yeah.
making a small game like this to be kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, what I think
Right.
was kind of funny is, I think it was last night, or no, I think it was Wednesday night. They had a post from the official Twitter for Unravel of him tucking Yarny into bed in the hotel room.
Yeah. The Twitter account for that game is adorable. That's pretty much the whole game in a nutshell. It's adorable, and
It does look kind of fun. Like I said, it's got a neat physics engine to
I
it.
think his timidity sold the game for people.
Yeah, I look for devs with passion, and that's passion right there.
Pay me
But-
to get a treatment for my Parkinson's.
Some other stuff that got my eye. For me, it was Avalanche's Mad Max game, if only because I love Fury Road so much, so I'm willing to do anything involving Mad Max right now.
I really want to see that movie.
Okay, I gotta just describe how this movie is. So I watched the movie.
No spoilers, dude.
I'll just say how I felt about the movie. When it finished, it was about 7 o'clock. I
right.
got up, then I got back in line to watch it again. I have never done that for any other movie.
I almost did that for Guardians of the Galaxy. Funny enough.
This movie is fucking amazing. I'll just say
on.
this. Yeah, all right. But anyway, yeah, it's the best movie ever. You shall see it. But another thing for me is The Last Guardian. That kind of blew my mind. The fact that game is finally getting made.
Yep, that might be my most anticipated title of E3.
I'm just happy to see Team Ico back together and finally finishing off their trilogy.
And that's the thing I think is kind of funny. Fallout 4 is coming, and The Last Guardian is coming. I think Gabe might be shaking in his boots. Where's where's Half-Life 3?
The pressure is on.
You know he'll never give us that. He'll do whatever he can to not give us that.
Left 4 Dead 3.
I think Gabe is putting money in the fireplace to keep himself nice and warm in the Seattle winters, and I think he's sleeping on a bed of gold coins, and I think he's not fucking worried about what anyone thinks about Valve.
You know what, Dag? To be honest, I think he may actually have a Scrooge McDuck vault.
I think he might.
He probably does. I mean, have you seen how much money Steam makes him?
Oh yeah.
Another game that caught my eye. Oh shit, what was it? Where are my notes?
Lol.
For me also, I just want to bring this up. How do you guys feel about the Final Fantasy remake?
Well,
Nostalgia
shit, you missed
pandering.
that.
We talked
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
Enough
for me,
said.
the reason I think people need to be a bit more concerned with that is because this is not the same Square Enix. This is the complete, anyone who had, like, the old Square is long dead at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, in fact, the devs actually talked about in an interview that they're not interested in just remaking the same game, because why would you play a remake when you could just play the original?
Yeah, I mean, I like that. For me, I think that's the power of a remake.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to
Not to
slavishly
mention-
follow the original.
That was
lot
part
of-
of what made Resident Evil remake
Yeah.
worth playing.
Yeah,
But at the
because-
same time, I'm not really holding my breath for Final Fantasy VII Advent within Spirits Chronicles 7 Remake Redux Turbo Hyper Part D. I honestly, I could care less
I'm cautious of it because Final Fantasy VII actually has a lot of questionable content.
I'm skeptical on it just because Final Fantasy VII, as I said earlier, is a dead horse, and we're beating the fucking dead horse again.
Well, yeah, you said, but I said there's a lot of questionable content. I mean, there's Cloud cross-dressing. There is a scene with some really almost overt homosexual overtones.
Oh god, that's right.
And
to be fair, isn't that all of Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah, but this was like implied to literally be at a love hotel.
Oh.
Not to mention, there's also the problem of Tifa calling people retard every so often, and Sid and Barrett swearing like sailors.
Yeah, but you're not gonna have Barrett any other way. He's fucking Mr. T, dude. No questions
would expect
asked.
Barrett to be swearing like a sailor, even if you played the original Final Fantasy VII. You know they censored the shit out of the original script.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Also, Barrett is not Mr. T. Mr. T is a saint. He drinks his milk and loves his mama.
Stay in drinks. Drink your school. Don't do milk.
Anyway, Liam, was there anything else you want to say that you're looking forward to?
I'm just going to randomly shoot off the rest of them quickly.
Sure.
Phantom Pain, if only because I wanted Kojima's last game to be
of
so
course,
good.
dude.
It fucking makes Konami regret firing him. Doom demo, because this is Doom, and Doom is fucking amazing.
Yep.
What else is there? The new Hitman game, because I love Hitman.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of my favorite series. What else? I don't really think there's much. Like, for me, I'd rather wait to see more of these games. I mean, to me, there's not really much. I mean, I saw some stuff that got me, but, you know, I'd rather wait to see more. Like, I mean, I might be interested in Dishonored 2 because I love the original, but that might have wait a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. I have to ask, though, what part of E3 did you least like?
Pretty much anything that didn't have to do with showing trailers. Anytime they, like, the press conferences, anytime they just tried to interact with the audience, I was cringing.
So Pele, Jason Derulo,
fucking Danger Zone.
That woman trying to hit on the random dude in the audience. Oh.
Yeah, he wants.
Lana.
She wants to make sweet memes with him.
That wasn't a random dude.
Yeah, it was someone they paid to
Paid
cosplay.
him to be there.
Even then he just still looked like, why the fuck am I here?
Pretty much.
What the fuck are you with your memes?
There is one. I will admit, I think the Square Enix conference was the least cringeworthy, if only because fucking Yoko Taro comes out being Yoko Taro. Pretty much having that look on his face, like, I'm gonna eat every one of you people here.
Oh man.
Fucking that guy knows how to sell a game. He comes out dressed like that.
All right, man. Well, hey,
it.
thanks for filling us in on what you thought of E3.
Yeah. That's
overall, final question. What do you think? Just overall, were you hyped? Do you think this is one of the best E3s?
I think this is one of the better E3s they've had in the last few years. Because last year's was an absolute waste of time for me. Like, yeah, this one it was better by comparison.
Okay, that's fair.
Actually, hold on. I got one more game I want to just. All
right, one more, and then quickly I gotta answer other calls.
Okay. Horizon Zero Dawn, because it looks like Blood Dragon taken completely seriously.
All right.
I mean, it's got robot dragons walking around. I mean, tell me that's not.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. See you guys.
All right,
later.
thanks, man. Thanks for calling in.
Bye.
All right, now we got one other person here. Let's go ahead and bring in Arrow.
Ooh.
Then we got one other person after him.
All right.
Better be paying me overtime for this.
Looks like he's gonna. Hang on.
Right.
Looks
like he's not answering.
No, because he's messaging me going like, wait a sec, I guess he's like adjusting his microphone. We'll give him a second. So while we're filling in, I guess just let's ask ourselves, what do we think about E3 overall while we're waiting on him?
I have to agree. It was one of the better E3s in the past few years.
Mm-hmm. Okay, looks like we have him here now. Hey, Arrow, you there?
Lol.
Wow.
Apparently
I guess
not.
the microphone isn't working right now. Wait.
Hello?
There we go. All
There
right.
we go. Technical difficulties and all that stuff.
Don't make us restart this entire show for you.
Yeah, I just kind of want to talk a little about the Sony thing and their, like how everyone kept saying that it's I guess you can say dirty what they did
Mhm.
with the what's it called the
Shenmue?
Kickstarter. Yeah, Shenmue with the Kickstarter. Before I was told that they released the game and they put it on Kickstarter themselves. Then I just heard that they were broke. That's what I've heard before. Now you're hearing this. Thank guys for clearing that up for me. But this, I don't see it as very ethical. It's kind of messed up. I mean, say, oh hey, here's your game. Here's your.
That's a
Do
little
I
bit
wanna
how
do
I'm
this?
kind of feeling too. Like, I don't know if I'm going to say it to the full extent of how you're kind of saying, like, because I didn't know I didn't know Shenmue was actually up on Kickstarter beforehand.
No, it wasn't. They started it right as they announced it at the conference. There had been talks for a while to put it on Kickstarter, but the launch was that day.
Yeah.
Sure.
However, nobody knew until even after that conference when they were interviewed about it that Sony was co-funding it.
Yeah.
So in the long run, no one would have figured it out if they were even questioned about it.
It's kind of a given, honestly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One
I mean,
thing
like, hey, we're going to advertise this during our press conference, so we definitely have a part of this.
makes sense. The one thing I do see sort of they could have did if it was the original, I guess, rumors that are going on that Stone was supposedly broke, they could put a game on Kickstarter, and basically they have the funding to actually do the game, but then they put let's say they have 3 games up. You can either do this, this, or this. You fund the one you want to see, and then they have the fans pick the game, pretty much the one that gets funded the most, or that reaches their goal, or such, or if they all reach it, they do the game.
So you're saying they should straw poll their next game?
Not straw poll. Well, basically had the fans kind of pay to pick, if you want to call it that.
Huh.
So
I'm
basically,
not
if
sure
they
how that would work with the whole Kickstarter user interface. I'm not.
I
I
guess.
mean, they're not Amazon. You can't just pick which product.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that goes against Kickstarter's terms of service or not. I don't know how they handle that.
Well,
Second of
it
all,
doesn't
stretch
get-
goals would be a problem for that for sure.
That's true.
Well, I guess you would have to start it off like, here's your 3 options that we could do. Any game that doesn't get funded, all the money goes back to the backers. Like, none of it goes to the person trying to get funded.
Right.
So the one that gets funded qualifies, and then the stretch goals are created, I guess, or they have to have a plan for all 3 of them ahead of time. I don't know.
That could be interesting.
I'm not sure how I would feel about that, because, I mean, what happens if you really want the one and then nobody else wants it? So it's like, all right, well, I'm not putting any money into that game because fuck them, I feel snubbed.
That's a good point, actually. Like,
Yeah.
I can imagine that being a huge issue.
So I mean, let's go back to this whole gamer entitlement bullshit. Like
Huh.
that would raise a lot of red flags for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well,
Alrighty. Was there anything else you want to cover, Arrow?
well, that new Zelda game that actually
Okay.
looks pretty. It looks pretty interesting. Nintendo. I'm actually a good Zelda fan. I actually like the concept. In the moment I saw the gameplay, I was like, oh, this is a Four Swords remake, or based off the Four Swords, pretty much.
That's exactly what the Loud Kid was kind of saying. Like, he was feeling it was definitely a Four Swords game.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
from what I
there's these
know,
swords.
from what I know, it's built on the engine they used for A Link Between Worlds. There's that too.
Another thing I noticed is I can probably tell Nintendo's kind of either include the Amiibo system, or they're now doing, I guess, a DLC system to get new, quote unquote, new costumes to unlock new abilities.
No, that's part of the core gameplay. That's
Oh.
not. It's not a monetization thing or cosmetic. That is part of the game. You buy costumes to change the way your items and powers work.
Okay, well, I was thinking more of the lines since they started doing with the Smash. I was thinking, oh god, are they gonna
And
start?
Splatoon, even.
Yeah.
No, there's no way they would do that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank God, because that's the one thing I would really not like to see.
Dude,
It's like, oh,
as much shit as I'm giving Nintendo for this year's E3, like, you know, I've got good faith in them, and I don't ever see that happening in the future.
yeah,
If it does, that's when you can declare Nintendo dead.
yeah. Well, that's kind of it right now.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for
E3
calling
was
in.
pretty nice. Yeah. Well,
Yeah. And overall, you thought E3 was pretty good?
it was pretty good.
All right.
I mean, it's not entirely bad because I'm not one of the guys that are hardcore or whatever. I like staying up to date, and it's nice seeing people actually presenting their stuff, despite how lacking somewhere.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for that. And let's see. Shayo's actually kind of private messaging me. Let me bring that up real quick because the only thing that she wants to say is that she wants to mention that Sony was probably her least favorite for two reasons. No Vita games were actually shown outside of the stupid montage, and no Dark Cloud 2 news, despite it was supposed to appear at E3.
Well,
Fair enough.
technically they did have a new World of Final Fantasy game coming out on the Vita, but as we covered before, in certain circles at Sony, the Vita is considered a legacy system. You're not going to see much for it outside of anime licensed games and other Japanese imports.
Right.
Like, Japan likes the Vita. The West, it's dead in the West.
Yeah. And I think we have ourselves one more caller here. I'm going to call him real quick. Maybe away. Peachy, are you there? Hello, Peachy.
Hello.
Hey there.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and keep this really quick. I didn't like the C3 at all because it was really just things we already knew about. They're just reassuring us that, oh yeah, this is still happening.
I'll agree there. Yeah, there was definitely a lot of stuff that we didn't know beforehand.
And although, yeah, there are some shining great things like the Phantom Pain, but we already know that's gonna be a thing. We already know about the new Uncharted, and we already knew about The Last Guardian. It was just a surprise.
We could even argue we already knew about Fallout 4 as well. I mean, but
I was
even
actually one of the people who joked about The Last Guardian last week on the podcast, and it happened, so wonderful. The new Tony Hawk looked garbage, and that I expected. It sucks. I love skateboarding games. And yeah, none of the conferences really showed anything that was super amazing. The PC conference was really just an AMD circle jerk, and that's really it.
Pretty much.
Okay, then. So...
I wish I could argue, but no.
Damn, you made a good point. Shit.
Yep. They failed to capture this consumer.
Loss.
So I guess we gotta take a point off for that.
Yep.
Right?
Alrighty then. So, was there anything else you want to say? Like, overall, I know you said you kind of pointed out your disappointments, but overall, on the grand scheme of things, what do you think?
I had fun, but mainly because I was watching with friends. I actually watched some of them with you, Captain.
That's true.
Yeah, that was really it. I just liked the C3 because it was fun. There were a few games I really did like here and there. Of course, the Phantom Pain, the new stuff looked amazing. And Planet Coaster got me really hyped, and I hope they keep like that proto-hipster kind of aesthetic throughout the actual game and not just a trailer. But other than that, no, dude. New Assassin's Creed, I mean, yeah, the timeline interested me, but it's still Assassin's Creed, so I can't care.
Hey, that's what everyone said about Black Flag, and Black Flag, in my eyes, is probably one of the best Assassin's Creed out there.
Yeah, and that's true. But then again, we had Unity, so it's like, if it's flip-flopping like that, I'm not too confident.
Well, they're going slow with this one, and besides, they showed off that you can get your lads together.
I don't want my lads.
You don't want your lads to have some cheeky Nandos?
Wow. Dan, go away.
Well, why don't you quote some
I
more?
want to, but
why don't you quote some more Dickens for us?
Like, I want to, but we're dragging the show out.
Right. So anyway, yeah, that's gonna be it for now. Thank you again for calling, Peachy.
See ya.
And yeah, I guess overall, for our own personal opinions, because we are the host, damn it, we should share them.
Right.
Dag, starting with you, what'd you think overall?
Well, okay. I feel mixed about this E3. There were very few games that I'm super hype about, like Fallout 4. I really want. Metal Gear Solid 5. I really want. Aside from that, Last Guardian. I really want. And everything else kind of feels like hit or miss. Like, people are kind of just bringing out their IPs. Like, there's very little news in this E3. It's more a matter of, like, who fucked up on stage the most, or who gave us something that we didn't ask for and we didn't want.
Hasn't that been E3 for the last couple years, though? It's just based on who really did the worst. I mean, shit, we're kind of guilty of, contributing to the who did it worst thing, but...
Well, of course, it's the only thing we could really talk about at this point. And I'm not sure if that's because we're becoming bitter and jaded, or if it's because people these days are so stupid that they don't do any research before they purchase.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like, as far as the best show of E3 for me, that was Bethesda. I mean, the show itself was fun. The pacing was good. They announced everything that we wanted and some of the shit we didn't know we wanted.
And nothing we didn't want.
And
I'd argue there was a few we didn't want. Like the Elder Scrolls card game and maybe just Elder Scrolls Online.
ESO has a following, and the card game, I don't know. If you're into card games, it looks okay. But at the same time, every single other conference fucked something up.
That's true.
Bethesda didn't. They fucked nothing up.
They hit the ground running.
They hit the ground running.
They hit it home.
They stayed there for the correct amount of time. They didn't stay there so long that it felt like they wore out their welcome, like AMD's Showfest. They didn't announce things that didn't make any sense, like Nintendo.
Yeah.
They didn't waste a whole lot of time with fucking Pele or fucking Derulo or whomever, like EA and Ubisoft. They didn't tell us that we were getting shit that should have already been standard, like Microsoft, or by extension, Sony.
Yeah. And they didn't give us a bunch of stuff that we knew was already coming, like Square Enix.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't pull a bait and switch like Square Enix.
Oh, yeah.
Expecting Final Fantasy 15, getting bullshit fucking remake of 7. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't shilling AMD's failed drivers.
Yeah, like...
So my final thoughts is Bethesda did well in a battlefield full of people fucking sitting on their own landmines trying to eat lunch.
Yeah.
It's a fucking, a fucking battlefield full of, Curly. Basically shooting themselves in the fucking foot.
I'm disappointed with this E3 overall.
That's the way I'd have to put it. Like, there was a lot of weird... I think it was average, because there was a lot of good, a lot of bad, depending on your... But, yeah. Bethesda just knocked it out of the park. They were best in show by far. And if we're not counting the PC gaming show, I would have to give worst in show. In my opinion... EA with Square Enix is a close second.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. I'm going to give worst in show to everyone but Bethesda. I am fucking critically underwhelmed.
That's kind of a cop-out answer, Dag.
I am critically underwhelmed by this E3.
Uh-huh.
I'm really disappointed with the gaming industry in general, just milking IPs without innovating.
Yeah, my biggest problem with the stuff that we wanted to hear about that was at E3, nobody was talking about. It's like nobody wanted to talk about the games gamers wanted to hear, save for Bethesda.
Right.
It's like all this other shit was just stuff that, the stuff we're contractually obligated to put out every year. Here it is, guys.
All right, so Dag, your answer for the worst is everything but Bethesda.
My true answer for the worst is gonna be the PC showcase.
Okay.
Because
I think we should declare that's a whole league of shit of its own.
It really is, but ignoring that I'm gonna have to say the worst of E3, despite showing some interesting games, was Ubisoft.
Fair enough.
It was meme fest bullshit. It was, a 5-minute live song by Jason Derulo who doesn't know how to fucking use his voice without autotune.
Yeah.
It was a Just Dance shit fest for another 10 minutes.
You got Lana forcing memes.
Yeah, you've got Aisha Taylor, whomever.
Aisha Tyler, yeah.
Who might be people's waifu, but frankly, she's boring as piss. And
I think she got dethroned this year. Did anyone see the girl? I think she was the one showing off Rainbow Six Siege. Is either that or For Honor.
Was she the one that had... Oh, yeah,
The
the
one
fucking
talking about
the
her
fucking
Vita.
Viking. No, it wasn't the For Honor guy. The For Honor guy was a fucking Viking, dude.
Yeah, the For Honor fucking bike. Yeah, him and the Genevieve Forget. I name her I forget because her last name is spelled that way.
That was the one with the thick French accent, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the hipster glasses.
Yeah.
Thick frame.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather see more of her than more Aisha Tyler.
I
should Lana.
Shia LaBeouf.
Okay, so that's Dag's worst. Dan, your absolute worst?
I already said it. If we're not counting PC Showcase, it's EA.
Okay.
Because they wasted my fucking time with Pele. Like, if I hear the term "the beautiful game" one more time.
But it's a beautiful
game.
game.
This is a beautiful game.
No, it's the beautiful game.
Oh, the beautiful game.
Okay.
Let's see. I guess for my vote, like, we're all agree that Bethesda won. Let's just be down up front with that.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go ahead and speak on the personal level, because at least I got some laughs out of the fucking EA. I even got some laughs out of the fucking Ubisoft. They're bad, but it's so bad it's good to me. Like hear me out, because I'm a fucker that watches bad movies and loves to rip on them.
So I don't even think it was so bad it's good territory. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is so bad it's good. EA and Ubisoft are so bad I want to kill myself.
They're so bad they're still bad.
Yeah, it's so bad it's awful.
But the point is also I can still at least make fun of it and feel good about it. And I think the one thing that just kind of stuck very horribly with me was definitely the Sony conference, especially for the reasons I have stated earlier, and just because I didn't see enough first-party exclusives from one of the big major 3 companies.
Yep, they said that going in, that they didn't have any new first-party titles to announce this year.
Yeah, it's sort of how Sony rolls, though. They don't really get the exclusive edge until later in their life cycle, so this is kind of another new generation growing pain for them.
Yeah,
we saw the same thing with the PS3.
That seems they're just enjoying the play it only on PlayStation, also on PC.
Right.
Riding that out hard.
So yeah, that's my vote. I say Sony. And
all right.
Yeah, like hey, just defend myself from the Sony fans real quick. Hey, I'm glad you're getting The Last Guardian. And hey, even I would want to give Shenmue a try. I still think the execution wasn't great, but hey, I'm glad it exists. And I may even be willing to take a look at Final Fantasy Remake again, just because it's been that long since I've seen Final Fantasy VII. But the fact is that even in my eyes, it's still a dead horse, and I would have much rather seen that at the Square Enix conference.
I still find that
than
funny
the Sony
when Squeenix has been writing Final Fantasy 13 out for the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they've been shoehorning lightning all over the place. Where have you been?
You know what they also failed to mention?
Hmm.
The Final Fantasy 14 expansion, Heavensward.
Yeah, I think there was a tiny mention of it in the PC gaming showcase. I don't think so, but yeah, they didn't. That was another thing that was exclusively to a highlight reel in the Square Enix conference.
Really dropped the ball, but
yeah. Again, like I said,
at least it wasn't outright bullshit like all of Ubisoft.
Yeah.
I mean, Ubisoft had fun-looking games. I'm still pretty hype about The Division. I'm still pretty hype about the Tom Clancy titles, just the 3 of them: Division, Rainbow Six Siege, and Ghost Recon.
Yeah.
Okay, those all look fun. I would like to play all of those, but everything in between the videos of the games at Ubisoft,
yeah,
it was like chewing my own chunky bile.
Okay, so enough about conferences.
So yeah, that's our votes.
Let's go best and worst games in terms of presentation,
Fallout
demonstration, 4. Teasers.
Fallout 4. That's the best. Period. End of discussion.
I'm gonna have to give my top 3 in terms of hype.
Okay, top 3 then.
Fallout 4 is good looking. I know it's shaping up to be a good game, but the games that got me most excited being shown off were Horizon Zero Dawn, Hitman, and Ghost Recon Wildlands. those got me interested to know what they're doing.
Fair
like-
enough.
Those are the ones like, okay, you sold me on a game.
All right, Jason.
I'm gonna say Fallout as well. Star Fox, obviously. I'm being pandered to by Nintendo. You know what? Fuck it. I'll enjoy every second of it. And I think for my third, I'll say South Park.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, of course, with Fallout. Given that we all agree on Fallout, we're just gonna have to.
We
come
agree.
Up with...
Yeah, we agree. Bethesda won E3, and Fallout is the game to see this year.
Damn straight.
But aside from that, I am really excited about The Last Guardian. I am strangely, really, well, not very strangely, my nostalgia goggles just got polished. I am super hyped for Shenmue 3. And I guess for a third here, I would have to say King's Quest: A Night to Remember.
True.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with the Sierra Adventure titles, and Christopher Lloyd is voicing King Graham. Fuck yeah, gimme. Put
Again,
it in.
another exciting game to look forward to that nobody talked about at any conference.
Right. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it was still there. It just wasn't in the conferences.
Yeah. Which, as my final thought, that I think is the biggest sin this year at E3, is leaving out so many high demand games out of all these conferences.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand why the PC conference didn't go over all of the show booth stuff that, frankly, a lot of it won't make an appearance on consoles.
It's almost like you have to go there to experience it all.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. But I mean, they took enough time that they could have covered everything.
That's
and
true.
Instead, they just talked endlessly about shit that we've already heard about.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, we definitely went over. I think this is a 3-hour show.
Yeah, we went an extra hour. We pulled a PC gaming show. That's how long.
To be fair, there was a lot to talk about, and
Yeah.
you know, let's not do what we did last
Yeah,
year and split up into 2 different shows.
We did. We covered 12 hours worth of conferences in 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and start wrapping things up, folks. Thank you again for tuning in to listen to us live. And you know what? If for whatever reason you joined us a little halfway through the show whatsoever, this episode will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. And you can find that by just searching up Good Game Guys Show. You should totally subscribe there. We upload other types of videos, such as gameplay footage of warships. Dan, is there any projects you're working on right now?
Not right now. Haven't decided on anything. Feel like working on right now. Like, Infinite Crisis gameplay is slow to come, considering how fast the game's dying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I'll figure something out eventually.
And Dag, I know you and Aaron are currently working on a project.
I got a shit ton of editing to do. I don't even want to tease that until like next week or the week after.
Fair enough.
Like, I'm gonna be working on this for a while.
But there is definitely some stuff to come along with it, as well as our bringing up some of the older episodes. Maybe you just missed out on some of them and you just want to hear us because maybe we're funny to you. I don't know.
Shit, should I tease it or should I just let it go?
Say give a little tease.
All right. So I've got 80 gigs of video to edit.
Anyway.
It's gonna be a couple of weeks.
So
but, hopefully you guys are gonna, enjoy it. There are some lulls.
And like I said, we'll also be slowly updating our playlist to add all the older episodes of the Good Game Guys. Maybe not so much the ones when we were on Blog Talk. You can find them there.
Well, you better get those in an actual playlist.
We'll do what I'll do what I can.
It's not
anyway.
hard.
So the way that you can find us, again, go to YouTube, search up Good Game Guys Show, hit the subscribe, like any video you like. I'm not forcing you to. The gun pointing to your head is forcing you to.
Lol.
And anyway, if you also want to keep in touch with us, we also have other outlets. We have our Facebook page, our Twitter, which you can easily find if you're listening to Twitch right now. Just scroll down. Even Hitbox, scroll down. There's buttons. Push them. They take you to the websites. Follow, like, subscribe, all that fun little jazz. And that kind of covers everything. So, this is Dr. Captain.
I'm Dag.
And I'm hungry.
And speaking for the loud kid in TKO, who 1 wasn't able to make it, and 2 had to leave during mid-show, This is everyone here at the Good Game Guys saying, good game, everyone.
Good game.
Good, the beautiful game.
You son of a fucking